to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode number 65. I'm Dave Z. I'm here with Christian. I'm here with Brandon. How professional.
How professional. Brandon claps right when you start talking.
I actually thought you were going to stop and redo it then, because I'm surprised you even noticed. I don't think Dave noticed.
I noticed. You know me. I'm one take Dave. I keep going, you know. If there's a problem, Christian can fix it, and if he can't, well, then
I fixed it. I'm in the basement. This is one take Dave, second time through, because of me. But because of me.
To be known that Dave is the only person who calls himself One Take Dave.
Second view Dave, one take Dave. Right. Yeah, I got a million nicknames for myself that nobody else uses but me. Right. So yeah, 65. I guess we can announce our retirement now, right?
Yep. Last episode. With Brandon on it.
Yeah.
I'll just insert some cheering and applause.
Nice.
Can I express a little, I don't want to say anger, but a little disappointment, a little sadness?
On what?
A group question that, I don't know who posted. Did you post it, Dave? Somebody posted. It was a good question. 4 people you could hang out with. And
that was me on the 4th of July. It was my 4th of July game. 4 people.
Yeah, that was a good thing. I was a little disappointed that Alex only went with 2 of the 3 Exploding Heads guys.
Oh, you know why, though? He came over from TJF 13, and he says that he doesn't like you.
No, I know he doesn't.
No, I'm kidding.
That's all right. I'm going over to Joshua's house because he had Emma Roberts there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He had 4. He had Emma, which that's all you need, and I think he had Anya Taylor-Joy, and I think he had Danielle Harris, and who was the 4th? Catherine Isabel. And I said, if those 4 are over in my house, I'm not going to worry about what I'm watching and what I'm eating because
I'm going to Louis C.K. it.
Yeah.
Just sit there, waka, waka, waka.
Ooh, baby.
That's who I would watch it with. My 4 would be Louis C.K., Black Phillip, Mercy, and Penn.
You know what is even sadder about that whole thing, Brandon, is that your dad's on Facebook and he picked Dave, me, Vince, and Alex Harrow.
You know what? He probably would.
Wait, who did he pick? He picked me, Christian, Vince, and then who was the 4th if it wasn't you?
It was another host, I think, right?
No, I think he just went with nobody.
A sandbag.
No, I get it. I think there was a 4th. I'm just teasing.
Well, Alex is a listener of the show. He probably did that just to elicit a response from you because it's just a joke.
Alex is a good guy. I'm just messing around. I even wrote like, hey, where's my invite?
I think he is too. Because who else is he going to put there? I don't think he'd put JP there.
No. You gotta watch you can't enjoy the movies or the company when there's a Mexican in the house and you gotta keep an eye on all your possessions.
It's been a while since we had some racial comedy.
Right. Yeah, we're overdue.
Yeah. We haven't hit our quota this month.
Nice. So let's get to it. Return of the Living Dead tonight. Parts 1, 2, and 3. The trilogy. No, we're not doing a fucking whatever, Rave to the Grave or whatever those 2 movies that were made.
Necropolis?
Yeah.
Necropolis and Rave to the Grave. They came out the same year, and they both have like 3.0 ratings on the B. Fuck those.
Yeah, dude, they were sci-fi movies. I don't think so. We're not doing it. It's bad enough we had to watch. Well, whatever, forget it. We'll get to
it. Yeah, I know what you're about to say.
It's okay.
Am I going to be defending some movies tonight?
We'll see. We're doing the trilogy. We're doing some triple R's. We got some news for Patreon. We got some good things going on. But I'm going to put you guys on the spot right away. I did this on purpose because I'm going to get honest responses this way. Because Watson mentioned something on our group page last week. And he said, could you guys rank the Nightmare on Elm Street films in order? And it was after we recorded the Reanimator show, which came out before this. And here we are. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Desert Island, you're going. How do you rank them?
First of all, you want to walk that damn dog.
I just did before we got on.
Leroy.
Is that Paquita?
I think it is Pepita. Yes.
Oh, Pepita.
Yeah. What do you say, Paquita?
Yeah.
I said Paquita. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
Pepita. We got Pepita. We got Bailey. And we got and now we got 2 cats. We got Oreo and Ginny. Yeah, Ginny cat.
Yeah, Ginny.
Favorite final girl. Yeah, little black cat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, love her.
Sorry, Desert Island. What am I picking?
We're not even picking. We have to rank the films because basically what Watson couldn't do was take our ratings and put them in order from highest to lowest.
I know.
Yeah.
Desert Island. I'm taking Dave and Alex Harrow.
Nice.
You bloated raccoon, you.
Oh, I love that joke. That joke is going to get some traction tonight.
I
Should have
agree.
kept my mouth shut. So we're just ranking all 8 of them in the
Do it off
order.
the top of your head. 8 of them.
I'll go. You want to go, Christian, or you want
Just
me to
watched
go?
them. Come on.
Go ahead. I mean, I've got my rankings.
Yeah, real easy. 1, 3, New Nightmare. 4, remake. 2, 5, 6.
Exactly the same rating. Exactly the same ranking. Exactly the same.
And I the only thing I hesitated on was I really enjoyed 4 so much that New Nightmare and 4 were like so close to each other. In fact, I think we gave them both 7s, you and I, Christian, or you might have given it higher, New Nightmare. So I don't know, but yeah, that's the rating I got to go with.
Well, good. See, that's your gut. See, I did the same thing. I didn't cheat and say I'm gonna look at it and give a fuck. Here I am. I just looked at them and I thought about it. I said, okay, this is what it would be. 1, 3, New Nightmare, remake, part 2, part 4, part 6, part 5. There you go. So
Wow.
mine's a little different.
Yeah, I'm surprised you did remake over 2. Sorry, Christian.
That was the toughest decision.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard the hesitation in that one.
That was the toughest. Where did you guys had remake over part 2 as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was tough. It really is tough. Those are neck and neck. But that's the way it came out today, so that's what we're going with.
We got some appreciation for our defense of the remake, and we also got some people who like think we're fucking nuts. But
Yeah, Willis.
what you talking about, Willis?
I guarantee those people didn't sit down and give it a second view before they made their comments.
I'll tell you what, it is such a big difference because the only other time I saw it was in theaters, and it was, I was like, I told Christian, and Christian said the same thing. I was falling asleep. It was so boring, and I wasn't into it.
Maybe because you saw it in a theater. I wonder if you saw it in a theater, you might have had a better experience.
Can you go back to your bedroom where we can't hear you?
You should have just said went to the show.
Yeah. I would have no problem with that.
You know, let's all go to the show and get ourselves a treat. You know?
Yeah.
So, okay, a couple quick things, a couple of orders of business. I said something on the last show, on the Reanimator show, and I kind of felt a little bit like an asshole after saying it. Actually, I didn't feel like an asshole. I didn't want to be perceived as one because I don't want to, I'm not an asshole.
Too late.
But well, listen, we were talking about action films. Somebody asked me something. How did it even come up? But
you hadn't seen Die Hard 2.
Or Die Hard at all, it was.
Okay.
But either way.
Yeah.
And I said what I said about action. Okay, now what I did say about action films, that's half of the story. Half of the story I said last show, so I'm not going to repeat it. The other half falls on me, and I know that. My freaking ADHD brain, I cannot keep up with what goes on the screen during action films. So it's and I hate to use the term, but my disability is what creates that. Because when I watch it and I see a guy do this and jump and a few kicks and a few punches and a guy jump from a train and go here and grab this and do this and light this thing on fire and run over here and slide and jump and all these things are happening, my brain, my little freaking fucked up brain cannot process what I just saw. So I basically just when that stuff starts happening on my screen, I just kind of immediately lose focus because I can't follow it. So it's partially my fault too. I just don't want people to say, oh, that he's an asshole. He said that, action films are bottom of the barrel and they're junk food for the brain. That's part of the reason, but the other part falls on me. So I just wanted to say that, man. That's all.
No wonder you don't like the Sayonara Rick Sun scene.
Oh.
Can't follow those punches.
Oh, God. You think I should like it because maybe you could you don't have to even look at a person. All you got to look at the other guy reacting. Right.
Hey, look, it was thrown in there. It was supposed to be a much better scene.
Yeah, but why even leave it in?
Or going back 2 episodes. That's great.
Well, they had to kill him. They had to kill him all somehow. It was a weak.
Gives a shit. Kill him anyway. He could have died in the toilet. It would have been a better freaking way to die.
If they didn't kill him, let's just remember what we got out of him being killed, even if it was that lame karate scene. We got, hello, baby.
Yeah. Listen, we're not getting back into it. It's going to be a retro of the retro.
No, Dave, you know what? You don't have to defend it. Look, action films, I've seen the classics. I like action films. It's a subgenre that I tend not to watch as many as some people do either. It's not one of my favorites. I always say that about crime and mafia type films. I've seen them all. I've seen all the Godfathers. I've seen Goodfellas. I've seen the classics. I've seen Casino, and they're phenomenal films. I'd rate them all pretty close to 10 out of 10s, but not my favorite genre to go back and revisit. Like, I don't watch The Godfather every chance I can get.
Okay, I love The Godfather. I can watch it again and again and again.
Yeah, see, I can't. That's like, it's not something I watch that often.
Okay, well, it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm not as interested in the gangster world as most people are.
That's fair. I get you. You like what you like. What else can you say? You know? Yeah, I just felt the need to say that because I don't want people to say, "Hey, this fucking guy."
This guy.
Yeah, this fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
Go home and get your shine box. Are we jumping into this, or how are we going to do this? Are we doing our new format, which is start with the franchise movie, go into a couple of trips, back to franchise?
But just one or two more things real quick. You guys know about, well, she's been on the show, Tab from Test Pattern, Jacob and Tab over there. They started a thing on their own, and it's a website, and it's basically a little community, a link between different podcasts. And we are part of that network. It's monsterkidpods.com. If you go there, we are on there with other fine shows. See, Tab and I do everything we can to promote each other's shows. We've been doing it for over a year now. We're friends.
She's great. We're going to have her back on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, she is great. And she said, hey, listen, she heard us talking about, what was happening with the fallout with Horophilia and how it almost went down. We were going to jump ship and the troubles we had. And she was giving me some ideas. And anyway, we were talking. So she said, we're going to start a little thing of our own, and we're going to feature you guys on it. So we are, on top of being on Horophilia, where we're hosted, and on Legion, where we're featured. We are also now featured at monsterkidpods.com with great shows like Test Pattern, of course, Random Movie Roulette, Thematic Elements, the Tune In podcast, How to Make a Monster Kid, Bloody in Love, and the Blood Buddies. So
that's awesome, and I love Tab, but I'm not allowed within 500 feet of the Monster Kid page. I'm sorry, so.
Great. We'll just sign him off right now.
Yeah, I guess I'm off the show.
Perfect.
That's cool. That's awesome that you guys put in the work you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I've said it before that Test Pattern is one of my favorite shows, and all these shows on the network, I've listened to probably 2/3 of them. I haven't gotten around to all of them, but I will promote them and I will get to listening. And they got a big Twitter following.
Awesome.
Test Pattern and friends of theirs and some of these pods. So we're just happy to be there. So thank you guys again, and check out those other shows. Now,
wait, Dave. Before you now it, can I now it?
Now it.
I'll now it first. Dave sounds better. He's still in his new basement and everything like that, but there's posters up, there's figurines up, there's a red filter up. He looks like, as Brandon said, he looks like he's out of a Dario Argento film. And I just want to mention there's a Halloween poster there, and there's I think that's the original Evil Dead poster. And if I'm not mistaken, Brandon, I don't know if you can see too, I see comedy in that poster.
Comedy, Evil Dead?
Yeah, I see comedy in that original Evil Dead poster.
Yeah, you know what? It does make me laugh. I think it's intentional in the poster.
I see a mean face and a scared face. I don't see any comedy.
I'm sorry. I see that. That's a great poster, by the way. But I see that poster and I think that's a comedy. That's a horror comedy.
A horror?
Just want to bring it up. A horror. Are we kicking out on you? Horror. Like our show.
You actually were kicking out a little bit.
Oh.
See?
Everybody's been kicking out, it seems, so far. But that's okay.
But anyway, okay. I just needed to derail you, as I do,
That's what we do. I just want to get this house cleaning done, and then you guys can talk the rest of the night for all I care. That's fine. Just someone's got to do this house cleaning. Patreon. We have some new people. First of all, one of our main homies on the group page, Joshua Pinelli, who's there, and I believe he's our homie. He is on our second level of Patreon. Thank you very much. And we have a new Benjamin. Why don't I have Benjamin's last name? Logan. And he is part of All Access. So welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Joshua, yes. You just messaged tonight, right before we're recording. You should be getting a message when those early access shows drop on Patreon. And if you're not, just let us know and I'll figure out what's going on.
Hey, I answered him first. You weren't even there.
You did answer him first. You did. But if it actually went to a technical level, what would have happened?
I would have turned it over to you.
I'm
sorry, you're going to have to ask Christian that.
Oh, man. Awesome. And one more thing. Our homie, Rafael Gallardo, has moved up and can now select a movie for us to do as a full review. However, we are not going to do it now, but he's chosen his movie. The movie he has chosen is Hereditary. We're not doing it now because, number one, Brandon hasn't seen it yet. I just saw it 2 nights ago.
Nice. I still haven't seen it.
Okay, and that's fine.
Neither have I.
What do you mean, neither of you? Hereditary? I thought you saw it 2 weeks ago.
No.
Fucking losing my mind. What did you see at the theater when you went?
The Incredibles 2.
No, it was a horror movie. Last week we sat down here and you said that you...
I thought you saw Hereditary also.
Right. Why did you think it too then?
I don't know.
Are you sure you didn't see Hereditary?
No, I'm pretty sure I didn't. I wanted to go, but then something happened at the house and I couldn't go. So
maybe you
said, man, The Incredibles 2 is violent.
Maybe you told us in chat you were going to see it and then it fell through. Because why would we both think that?
Well, that could be, because I've been saying that too. Oh, I'm going tomorrow. And I've had plans to go like 3 separate times and haven't gone.
I'm mad at myself. Like, I was supposed to go like the first week it came out, and it just, something happened. And the only reason we went to this one is because it wasn't with my daughter. I was with my son and wife, and obviously The Incredibles was the choice, not the scary horror film.
Well, you got to do it like I do it. I came home finally. The movie's been up over a month. I'm surprised it's still playing, but it is playing at a few select places still. So I was like, okay. So I came home after work. I got online. I was going to go by myself.
Pirated it.
No, I didn't. I was going to go by myself if I had to. So I get on there. My daughter's next to me. My wife's upstairs. I say, I'm going to go see a horror movie tonight. She's like, Dad, can I go? Okay. What about Irene? She runs upstairs. Irene, want to go to a movie? Yeah, boom. That's how I do it. I buy the tickets. I already had the movie picked out, and that's it. So the three of us.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we all saw it. Now, at the time, talking to Raphael, I said, I haven't seen it yet. Christian's seen it. Brandon has not. So either I was wrong. Whatever. But on top of that, not just that, I said, listen, he wants to hear our thoughts about it. And I'm like, that's cool. Because I definitely want to talk about it. But I'm glad, because this requires 2 views anyway. But basically what I told him was this. Even if we went to the movies and saw it now, you can't take notes in a theater. We want to do a good full review. We don't want to get on here and just go by memory. Brandon and I can't remember shit. We're going to talk for 2 minutes. It's going to be over with. And, so basically, to sum it up, when it drops on Blu-ray, when it comes to home, whatever, VOD, whatever it is, then we are going to do the review. I've already told him. He knows it. So you guys, the listeners, look forward to that. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think it's actually coming out sooner than later. I think they're pushing these movies a lot quicker to Blu-ray and VOD than they used to. So I would expect to see it soon. I'm just happy Quiet Place is actually coming out in a couple of days.
I'm almost positive it was. I thought it was on iTunes, unless it was saying coming soon. I thought it was available to rent right away. Yeah.
It might be, because I never got to see that, so I'm excited to see that. I've been very slow on the 2018. I kind of stalled out on it because nothing's been piquing my interest, but now everything's starting to come out.
Right on.
Yeah, you can buy it now. You can buy A Quiet Place now. You can't rent it yet for whatever reason. So on iTunes, I can buy it for $24.99 in 4K HD.
Oh, okay.
Wow, nice. I have 2 free movies coming because I bought my new TV last month, and because if you buy a Sony TV or a Android TV, and I guess this is both of them somehow, you register your TV, which I did. They give you 2 freaking UHD movies. So, and I believe I think the picture of A Quiet Place is there. So I'm gonna get 2 movies. I just haven't really shopped around, but
get Paranormal Activity 1 and 2 since you never got those back in the day.
That motherfucker. That's right. Ryan Rotten, you know who you are. I don't care. I don't care if you're giving me Halloween 2018. I want my Paranormal Activity DVDs.
All right. Anyway, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this fucking show. I know Patreon. I know. Thank you, Patreon folks. We're gonna put more shit out there. We're going to do more YouTube stuff. We're going to do a lot of shit. But I want to talk about this franchise.
Let's talk. Go ahead, talk. Say what you got to say.
I'm lost for words.
After
Oh, you want me to introduce it now? Okay.
After B introduces it, right.
All right. Let's start off with The Return of the Living Dead from 1985, directed by Dan O'Bannon, when 2 bumbling employees at a medical supply warehouse accidentally release a deadly gas into the air, the vapors cause the dead to rise again as zombies.
You caught the vapors.
You caught the vapors. Yeah. Dave, you'll be proud of me. Oh, sorry, Christian.
No. I want to know why he's proud of you.
No, because you know me. I'm not the big music guy, especially the big soundtrack guy. But earlier I was laying around. I was just tired, just relaxing. And I had my phone next to me. I'm like, you know what? I need some music. I threw on the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. Listen to that whole damn thing. Man, that's a great soundtrack. I always knew, like, people love that soundtrack. And it's, you know, it's a popular one. But, man, that's quality.
It's almost on repeat. Constantly, and I actually have the CD of it. Like I've had it.
That's actually a CD
years.
I would buy. I mean, I don't really buy CDs anymore, but if I was to buy a CD, I would buy this soundtrack because I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and it adds so much to the film.
Phenomenal soundtrack. I've brought this up before, one time on the show, and I think it was also in one of those chats. I think on Horror Corridor, actually, Mr. Watton's page, but. It was from a while ago. Watson. Did I say Watton?
Nobody can talk.
Mr. Watton?
Mr. Watton.
Mr. Wattingale. What'd you say?
I don't know what I said, but it was Watson is what I meant to say.
Ryan Rotten?
Was Little Watton around?
Yeah. And Johnny Watton. I say 45 Grave, their Party Time song rocks, and this is the zombie rendition. So they changed the lyrics for this movie, and it works great, and it's used in the movie perfectly, and it's a kick-ass song. But if you listen to the original version, it is a dark, haunting song. Like, it is fucking dark. Just check out the original version on, like, Apple Music, or if you've got the 45 Grave CD or whatever it may be, LP. Check it out, and those lyrics are fucking dark.
Well, don't they play both versions on the soundtrack, right?
No, it's just the zombie version, they call it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they had both versions. Okay.
No, the original it's about like about a couple who kill a kid.
Nice.
Really? and they're celebratory about it? So it's do you want to party? It's party time, but it's like tongue in cheek because they're happy to be killing somebody?
Yeah, I've got to bring up the lyrics now. So bear with me one second as I bring up these lyrics. Yeah, I've always thought, I was like, this is a fucking dark ass song.
Wow, so they're celebrating and they're happy about killing a kid? Wow, it doesn't get much better than that. Holy shit.
Okay, so it starts like, she never had a chance. Oh, she was only 5 years old. Pity the poor darling now. Oh, she never had a chance. Death come quick for a girl, victim of a homicide. Cut and beaten, brutally raped. The 5-year-old didn't escape. Her mom and friend did her in. Cigarette burns on her arms. From her mom and her friend, he had a whip to hit her again. Do you want to party? It's party time.
Shit, you know what?
It's party time. It's fucking haunting.
Did anyone else get lightheaded because all the blood ran to their penis? Because I really did.
That is in poor taste.
That is in poor taste.
Well, because it's fiction, it's not. It's okay.
That was beautiful. See, was that Maya Angelou? Was that James Joyce? That was beautiful.
Fucking Robert Frost.
I submitted that as one of my poems in university.
I think my favorite song on the soundtrack is Tonight.
Tonight is awesome, but let me just say, since you said that, how awesome is it that there's a second version of it, that little remix later when Trash comes back and she becomes full zombie, and they think to put in a different fucking spin on that song. It's brilliant.
So what we're saying out there, folks, is that we love the soundtrack. I think it was on. Well, I know it was on Dave and my top 20 soundtracks.
Oh, jeez.
I think it was on. It was on yours, guys. I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, because we did scores. We didn't do soundtracks. Remember? We kept it.
You know what it was? It was a question that was posed to us, and we brought it up as one of the kick-ass soundtracks to a movie. But it wasn't a dedicated episode. That's what it was.
Good call. That is what it is. And it is a great soundtrack. Obviously.
I forgot this was a true story. I really did.
True story. Yep.
I love that.
You know what's great? And you know, Moods will always talk about this too, because we talk about this specifically with Fright Night being one of the first horror movies that we watched when we were younger, being pretty much the same age. This was also, if I had to pick like 4 or 5 films that I watched all the time as a kid, you know, it was Fright Night, it was Return of the Living Dead, it was Troll, it was House. Those were like four films right there that I watched on repeat. And this film, it didn't dawn on me at the time that it was a comedy. This thing terrified me. Got fucking sliced in half dogs crying and barking. You got Tarman running around. He was a terrifying looking zombie back in the day.
Oh man, well this is what this film does. He balances it great. So 1985 must be like your favorite year ever.
Well, I think it was the year I started watching horror films. Yeah. 1985, 86.
I believe he picked 84 when we did it, because I think remember we were going to do a second show, because remember we did the episode 10 and we talked about our 40 years of horror, and I think that me and C agreed that 81 was our favorite.
Yeah, I picked 80.
80. I'm sorry. Okay, not 84. Okay. Either way,
I'll tell you what though, that 80 to 84 and even 85, that's some solid years right there.
The best years.
Yeah.
I think 5 from any decade, that's probably the best. But the funny thing is, I think second place would have to be what's going on now. But that's another.
I agree with that totally. Even though 2018's been very slow. All right, what are we doing? We're talking Return of the Living Dead.
Let's talk about it. Holy shit! I tell you what, I think I spoke about this. I know I did, because I was thinking. Maybe it was going to make the list, or maybe I've just said it on the air before, or maybe not. Maybe just in chat with you guys. I've said that I think that this film is very, very front-loaded, where the first act is so damn good that by the time you get to the third act and everybody comes together, when the punks get into the mausoleum or the crematorium and they hook up, that it's not on the same level as the beginning, so I never would give it a 10 out of 10.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, and I couldn't disagree more.
Oh, wow. I feel like exactly what Dave just said. That I feel like that was spot on. The first act is so amazing and so funny and so... you're right.
However, I didn't finish. This is what I've been saying all along. Now, watching it this time, I showed it to my daughter and I showed it to my wife. And I'm sitting in the room and they're taking it in and I'm watching it. And when I get to the third act, just because one thing is a 10 and another thing is a 10, and I've said this before, I mean, I have, let's say, 40 movies ranked 10 out of 10. It doesn't mean that they're all The Shining and The Exorcist to me. It just means that I have other movies that are 10 out of 10. Do I think they're as good as The Shining and The Exorcist? No, but they're still a 10 out of 10. So what I was getting at is that as I'm watching this film, I'm taking it in and I'm trying to watch it from a perspective of a first timer. And I'm saying, you know what? This stuff is still really good. I'm being biased because the first act is probably one of my favorite acts in all of horror. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the third act is diminished as a result, because there's still some really good stuff going on. So I try to set aside that bias. So this view, I can kind of, no, not kind of. I understand why people come in so high. So my opinion was changed.
And I think it's actually the first 2 acts that are strong. And that the third act is only, it's not that, it's just that the climax kind of blends in.
It's rushed, I feel.
The fact that really John Russo's script was pretty much trashed Dan O'Bannon came in, wrote a new script, and Tobe Hooper was going to direct it, and dropped out because the Tobster, because he couldn't get off of Life Force, and had to go do that. And then Dan O'Bannon stepped into the director's chair.
I gotta say something. I forgot what it was, and I gotta find it. But I was watching a movie recently, and there was a trailer for a film before it, and the person said, "Filmmaker Tobe Hooper."
Maybe they listen to Postmortem Radio.
No, it was an old movie. I gotta find it. I can't remember where it was because Oz is not wrong anymore. I was gonna write to you and tell you gotta watch this trailer. I can't remember what it was though.
Wait a minute. You're gonna take what one guy said and declare it as us being wrong? Because
we're not wrong. I'm just gonna say Oz isn't as wrong because this other guy was wrong with him.
Oh, that old theory. Okay. That's fine.
Right, can you believe that? No, Tobe Hooper was supposed to direct it. Would it have worked? Because this is where he was kind of like. You never know, because he was at that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Would he have been able to balance it? It would have been interesting to see, but I thought for a first-time director, Dan O'Bannon nailed it. He had a vision, went for it. People weren't thinking it was going to work, and it is probably one of the best examples of comedy horror.
Oh yeah, and James Cameron's performance is just phenomenal as Frank. He just every joke in the entire movie from him just lands.
Just him, the way he acts, yeah. how fucking dramatic he is. Oh, when he throws up, all his reactions are
even how he's talking to Freddy in the beginning. He's just talking to him like he's retarded. He's talking to him like he's a moron. Everything he said, he's saying it slow. The way he tells him the whole Night of the Living Dead's a true story. And he's telling the story that happened in 1969, even though the movie came out in 68. So right then and there, it's like they intentionally left that in to show that the character is just completely lying and making it up. But it's just a great performance.
All the performances are great. Clue again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, I never even knew the Bert and Ernie stuff until like probably a few years ago. The whole Bert and Ernie.
And it wasn't intentional.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Are you fucking serious?
It was not intentional.
Really?
It really wasn't. Dan O'Bannon says it was not intentional.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That sucks.
At least that's what I read when doing the research. When doing my research, that's what I read in interesting facts about the film. Because it seems like it'd be intentional, but it really wasn't.
You know, there was so much. There's a whole 2-hour documentary on this.
More brain.
Yeah, and that's a great documentary. I recommend it if you're a fan of this film to check that documentary out. I'm assuming it's on the Scream Factory.
It is
Blu-ray, but it's also, for those of you that don't have the Blu-ray or can't get the Blu-ray or can't afford the Blu-ray, it's also on YouTube. So take it for what it is. It's on there for you to watch. It's a great documentary. The practical effects in this film, like this movie hit home on when I was 15 and I was watching this movie, probably maybe even 14, because I think I saw this right at the beginning of really watching a lot of horror films. It had the gore, it had the nudity,
trash.
It had the music, it had the scares, and I want to correct myself. I said it earlier. I said this is a perfect example of comedy horror. No, this is a perfect example of horror comedy, and the reason I'm going to state that is because the next film that we're going to be talking about would be comedy horror, and we'll get there. But I'm just saying. Just to correct myself.
And I agree with everything you just said, because I saw it at that same age, and I was, that's when I was balls deep into it, and I was 13, 14, you know what I mean? There I was, and fucking, it landed at the perfect time, and everything was great, and used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. And again, that first act is what I always remember the most. I always go back, and that's the great part, is that I'm not really a horror comedy type of guy. And for me, most of the comedy is in that first act.
Yes.
Most of the stuff with Tom Matthews and James Cameron and what's going on. And like for me, the part that makes me laugh the hardest is when first of all, how cool it is when you see the split dogs. But second of all,
when he hits it with the crutch.
Yes.
So hilarious.
Oh my god! And he's yelling, and he's fucking hit him with a fucking.
And then the dog's like,
yeah, that's kind of sad, but I mean,
Man, the split dog terrified me as a kid, but watching it now, it's absolutely hilarious. Oh my god.
oh.
Just their performances. I mean, they're at times I think it's almost unintentionally funny.
I'm with you.
Ernie is just a hilarious character.
Ernie is hilarious. The rabbit or the whole, well, he didn't say rabbit weasels. That was cool. But his whole just his eyes, the way that he interacts, just like the fact that he has a gun with him. He's packing. He's in a freaking mortuary. He's packing. But that they wanted it as part of his character because he's like a German.
That's the gun he used to kill Bernie Lomax with. Because he's the one who kills Bernie in Weekend at Bernie's.
Really?
Yeah.
What a tie-in. So Friday the 13th, the new Brandon and and Return of the Living Dead have a Weekend at Bernie's double tie-in. Wow.
Yeah.
There we
Just
go.
like we had Hans Gruber Die Hard with Reanimator tie-in.
Wow. 6 degrees of Brandon.
I thought there was one scene where towards the end of the film, didn't it look like, and I don't know if this was ever a thought that they were going to go with, but didn't it look like Ernie was going to shoot Tina, like to spare her the inevitable?
Yeah. He holds the gun right to her head. What does
he
it look like?
Right? No, but he doesn't. He holds it up to her head, but they never really did anything with that.
No, but I think it was because he was thinking, I'm going to do it, but then Tom Matthews breaks through the door, it freeze frames, and we get that whole ending.
Yeah.
What a way to end the film too. I mean, I know we're all over the place as usual here, but it's just
whatever.
Like it's a slam dunk. I mean, whatever movie pretty much nukes as a resolution.
But wouldn't it have been better if they had a few more kills in there, especially when it came to the the gang? You don't see Spider, you don't see Casey or Chuck. I mean, that whole line between Casey and Chuck was pretty funny when Casey turns to Chuck and is like, Chuck, I never did like you.
She was a stripper in real life, eh? She wasn't even really an actress.
She's pretty too.
Yeah, she was a stripper. And she was in Slasher.com.
That's who was in Slasher.com?
She was the mother in Slasher.com. Because I looked her up to see what she had done recently, and
that's hilarious.
Wow. And I thought, I think I said she was still pretty in that movie too. So there you go.
Yeah, you could tell. She's a pretty girl.
So she was a stripper, yet she kept her clothes on.
Well, there was something about that. She was just done with it at that point. She said she was supposed to come in and play trash. And funny enough, at that point, the character was called Legs, and then the woman that they had for the character of Legs was pregnant, so she couldn't be in the movie. And then Linnea Quigley was brought on board.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Because no one else could pull it off the way she pulled it off.
Phenomenal.
Boy.
Such an iconic scene.
Dude, yes. And her performance, some people think, I've heard people say that they think it's bad, but I think that's the character. She's like, oh, let's do that. You know what? Yeah. I think she's supposed to be kind of spaced out, fucking weirdo. So that's why her delivery of lines is that. I'm not saying she's an A-list actress, of course.
No. But yeah. Yeah, that's totally character. You could tell she's nuts. She's talking about being fantasized, being killed by a bunch of old men ripping her apart. I mean, it's funny how
it works. Yeah, it works there. Like I can understand why some people think that, because especially if you watch the rest of her filmography, they may draw conclusions based on some of the other movies. But no, for this particular film, it works for the character, and they're all great characters. I love Suicide,
dude. All of them. The cast of characters, top to bottom, I don't know. Maybe it's second to none.
They just left too many alive for the ultimate conclusion.
Yes,
I thought, especially once Trash comes back, which is such a cool scene when she attacks the homeless guy. I felt like she should have maybe gone on a rampage and should have killed some of her friends, but it didn't play out. That's where I felt like there was a missed opportunity. Not that I hated it or anything, not that it hurt the film, because the film is still great and so much fun. But that's where I felt there was maybe a missed opportunity. Maybe a little bit too much overboard, even though it was funny with the send more paramedics, send more cops. It's like, all right. Like, it's funny, but like...
When I watched the movie initially, I thought they stepped on their own joke, because they already had the gag of send more paramedics. They should have edited out to send more cops. It was the
Yeah.
same joke. And if I have to, again, be nitpicky, you don't need it twice. It actually takes away from the initial impact. But so be it. Love
What
the
do you guys
movie.
think about the talking half skeleton?
Oh, okay. You know what I think about it? My favorite zombie of all time.
Really?
Love
Interesting.
love that scene. Love everything about it. Love the way it looks. Love what it says and what
Love
they're
the
implying.
look. Love
Everything.
what it says. Didn't necessarily love the sound of the voice.
Oh, really?
That's half the
Yeah.
fun of it, though. It's like that kind of sultry sort of voice.
Yeah.
Obviously ADR'd over there, but like you see just that with the spine flipping back
The
and forth.
wagging spine.
Oh, it's great.
Oh.
And how she takes a chunk out of dude's head. I can't remember his name now. Peaches. I don't know what his name, but he gets that.
Chuck?
big- Chuck. Yeah, it is. And the geyser of blood that just paints the wall red.
Yes.
And it's funny.
Yes.
I thought her hair was red. Then I realized,
wasn't-
no, it's
it
white.
wasn't
It's
Chuck.
cut blood red.
It was Scuzz.
Scuzz.
Chuck lived
Yeah.
until the very end.
So Chuck
Scuzz.
should have been killed.
Peaches.
Millions of peaches. Peaches for
Peaches?
me. Remember
That
that
was
song?
Peaches.
I don't know.
Oh, you made it up.
Yeah.
I didn't
He's
think it was a peach.
There was nobody named Peaches.
So then who was it?
It was
Scuzz.
Scuzz.
I can't remember Scuzz. I remember Suicide. I remember.
Scuzz was the smaller version of Suicide. He had a mohawk also. He looked kind of
Oh,
scuzzy.
he barely said fucking 2 words.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to this. Okay, 2 things. Linnea, pardon me, Trash should have attacked freaking Chuck. That would have been cool because Chuck is horny. He wants to fuck. So let's say she comes back. In all honesty, if I was in there, I'd still fuck her because her body was absolutely tremendous. So I could see a horny teen still, wanting to fuck her. That would have been a funny gag, you know what I mean? But whatever. That's more Night of the Demons, I guess. What was I getting at? This cast is, and the way this movie is presented, the reason this movie is such a hit is because this is basically, when you see these kids in the beginning, and even the people in the warehouse in the beginning, this movie, cast-wise, is set up like a slasher film that just happens to be a zombie film. It's the only one of its kind. No other zombie films look this way. This is teenagers and a couple of adults doing a job. This is typical slasher setup. No question about
I
it.
feel like you've said this before on an episode.
I have said it before, but I
Yeah.
think it bears repeating because I think that is what makes this movie such a hit. There's no other film like it. Any zombie film does not look anything like this. You could look at the Italian zombie films, of course not. Anything, even the modern zombie films. Nothing is set up this way.
No, I agree with that. For me, the missed opportunity comes in not utilizing Trash enough in the third act. I do like the fact that the zombies are fast moving. They're almost no two are alike, which I like. Because you got Tar Man who's slow moving. Yeah, he's one of the original, bodies that the army is looking for. And I love that army general, that Horace guy.
Yeah.
When he comes home, he's like, "What's for dinner? Lamb chops, your favorite. I had them for lunch."
Yeah.
Great
Who the
script.
fuck-
That's great script.
That's great comedy. It's
Yeah.
just subtle, but it's hilarious. Just even in just the delivery, it's not like a laugh out
His
loud
wife's
joke.
reaction is fantastic. How was their day? The usual crap.
Who eats lamb chops for lunch, though? Have you ever heard of such a thing? Why lamb chops? They should have said something else.
That's why it's funny because it's so
I know.
ridiculous. It's like lamb chops.
That is true. That is ridiculous. Yeah.
I can see it now, seeing it so many times. I can agree with the fact that it might have been a cool idea to maybe have something else happen with Suicide, because they don't really say just because Suicide's brains got eaten, his head was still sort of intact. I
Yeah, he should have turned.
Something should have happened. He should have turned, exactly. So they really could have brought some of these people back as part of the mob at the end and had them attacking their friends, even if it was just them coming up to the doors. But I think they were really interested in the next level being bring in the police. So all the police cars coming in, because it's a kind of a funny scene unto itself. All the police cars come in with the zombie cop escorting him in with the light, and all the zombies are hiding behind the bushes to attack. So it's like, now get them, and the zombies come and attack the cops, which I think is hilarious. But I think that's what they wanted to do. They wanted with the helicopter and with all the cars, they wanted to add like this mass chaos, and that's what this movie excels at. Is you really have this kinetic energy throughout and this feeling of unsettledness, like because of this mass chaos. Yeah, it's sort of confined to this one area, but they keep talking about it breaking out. Then they nuke Louisville, Kentucky at the end, only to have the rain take care of the fires and start the whole thing over again.
Oh, that whole thing, the first time it happens, it's a brilliant fucking concept of the trioxin being in the air and then them smoking out the fucking people and the rain bringing it back in and seeping into the ground. What an idea. Who would have even thought of that, man?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
you said you wanted to treat the smoke as a character.
Yes. So cool. No one's ever done it before. What a concept. And here's something else. When you were talking about the zombies and that they were running and everything and they were thinking, did you ever notice that that's never a critique for this film, but for a whole bunch of other films, like from the 2000s and onward, that's a major critique. Zombies are running. Zombies are thinking too much. Nobody ever points at this film and says that's a problem. Isn't that weird?
That's weird. It's something I actually like. It's something I, even from like the 80s when Nightmare City, when Umberto Lenzi did Nightmare City, the one thing about that, and people don't really say that they're necessarily zombies. They look more like burn victims, but they are zombie-ish, and they're running full speed, and I think it's just more terrifying that way.
Well, that's it. They're running and they're thinking,
yeah,
and they're plotting because they're hiding behind bushes to attack cops. Like it's great. It's great stuff. And
send more cops.
Guys, I know, again, another cool thing, the Resurrection Cemetery. I love the signage for that. I love the name Resurrection Cemetery. I like the fact that whole thing was a set. This movie has everything going for it. Dave, you've used this term you use it for describing Sleepaway Camp, but I use it for this type of movie, the lightning in a bottle. They just captured an energy in this film, and it was just a good combination of everything. Gore, scares, comedy, great ensemble, great script, great acting, great gags, and it just clicks along. I finished this movie and I could easily just start it right over again.
Yeah, you're right. They did capture lightning in a bottle because it not to spoil anything that's about to come up, but it was never duplicated again. No,
and it's a shame that it wasn't because, granted, it's still lightning in a bottle, but we'll get to them when we get to them. But I'm just saying. I found it interesting to read that James Cameron's character, that Frank, was actually supposed to become a full zombie and become part of the mob, but he didn't want to film in the rain. So he actually suggested the whole scene where he sacrificed himself, which is actually a pretty, upsetting scene. It's awesome. It's one of the best moments of the film. It is. I always remember. That's another scene that I always remember watching it from when I was younger and thinking, this isn't comedy. What did I know what comedy was? It was terrifying to me, but I always found that deeply unsettling as a kid, and it's still sad and unsettling. An interesting fact, and this is coming from the commentary, and I don't want to just regurgitate facts, but because you brought that scene up, supposedly they cut back the scream. So he says his scream was way louder and more in your face at the end when he's like the blood-curdling scream of the fire, I guess, engulfing his body, even though we don't see it just from the outside, that they thought it was just too horrific, so they sort of lowered the volume on it to make it softer. Interesting. And the song Burn, Burn, as it plays on there. Great choice of music. Oh, perfection. How he puts the ring on the thing. Yeah. And it's sad because his wife never found out that he left it there because of the nukes. But I mean, what a heavy scene for a film like this. Yeah. But it's great. You know what I mean? I say what you want about the comedy, but man, that's... And going back to what you were saying, Dave, I think the other thing that's so great, and again, we keep going back to it, and it's the script, but the plot devices, as you said, a movie today would have been like, oh, we open this container, oh, we're all zombies, oh, we're attacking everybody. We got to stop it. This one is, oh, we opened this container, we got knocked out, we're sweaty and kind of not right. Oh my God, a dead cadaver and half dogs are coming to life. We've got to deal with this cadaver.
we got to cut this thing up because the brain's not killing it. They must have lied in the movie. Another funny thing. And then they have to cut that thing up, burn it, and that's what starts the mass chaos. But it's the way they play with it. It's not that simple. They go through all this other rigmarole to kind of cover their tracks, save the day, keep it from getting any worse. And that's what makes it worse. And that is where I say, beautiful script. Beautiful job.
That's where the comedy gold comes in, between, Frank and Freddy, just their slow transformation, and of course Bert coming back into it because Kluger is great. He's so calm and rational, like the whole movie, like he's done this before, and it's just every decision just leads to just more mayhem.
I just love it. He runs the crematorium. He's like, a crematorium? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you think you could trust a bastard?
Right.
James Karen, his lines are great. You got to give it up for Tom Matthews too, for a new kid on the block. There, I thought he did a great job, and they work. You figure that they must have been rehearsing together forever.
Yeah, but for a new kid on the block, he had the right stuff.
Fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
But I'll tell you, that chemistry between them is natural. Those two in that first act and everything that's going down. How about? I mean, all those lines. I mean, you could just go on and on with them. Everything that they're saying. You mean the movie lied and all that shit. How about though? Here's a little thing I noticed when Frank calls Bert. Bert, and he fixes his hair, and he's
even like adjusting his sweaty shirt. That's comedic acting genius.
Did you read the eye chart?
Oh yeah, Bert is an asshole or something like that.
What is it? It says something like.
My daughter noticed it. Frankie noticed it. She goes, "Look what it says on the eye chart." I've noticed it before, but
Bert is a slave driver and a cheap son of a bitch who is also going bald. Ha ha. That's what it reads out to.
Oh, fuck. Not a bad question, Bert.
Yeah.
Great. Here's what I noticed the very, very first time. Something I've noticed not until this watch. You know what it says on Freddy's jacket?
Fuck off.
Isn't it fuck you or something?
It's fuck you. I've never noticed it until now. All these years. I don't know. I don't know why. But I never. Of course, I got the new TV and the new Blu-ray and everything else. But I mean, I never noticed it because it has the look of like a sport jacket. So I just never glanced at it. But this time I was like, that jacket says "fuck you" on the back. It's kind of funny,
What does Frank yell at him? Watch your tone if you like this job.
Yeah, this job.
Yeah, like this job.
Watch your tongue if you like this job.
Stupid asshole. Right.
Right from the opening shots, you need a medical. From this is based on a true story. Even the code names, people start laughing at like when they're like Niner, Rhubarb.
Well, usually you hear like Echo, Charlie, Bravo. I've never heard Rhubarb, but that was funny anyway. Even if they use it, it's still funny.
Fucking Foxtrot. What the fuck is a Foxtrot? Have you ever even heard of Foxtrot outside of military language? Why would you pick that word?
It's a dance, right?
Is it a dance? A foxtrot?
Yeah, it's an old like ballroom dance, the foxtrot.
Oh, like the Charleston?
Yeah, the Charleston and the foxtrot.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess if it's not a made up word, I can't talk shit. But that's always bothered me. Foxtrot. I'm like, what's anything? Just say fragile or fucking I don't know, Freddy. Fucking Foxtrot, but whatever.
Freddy, Foxtrot, Alpha, Charlie, Bert, Ernie. I love when he cuts his pants off.
Oh,
Even just that. It's like who thought to put that in there? Like, I wonder if he just did that on his own. Like, okay, the zombie's gonna grab your leg and rip your pants. I wonder if the actor just thought to himself, it would be really funny if I sit down and just meticulously take a scalpel and start cutting my pants off. And it's hilarious.
It's how long he does it, too. It takes a long time.
Yeah, he's doing it very meticulously.
How about when the kids come to the door and the first thing he says to them, "Are you on PCP?" Oh, that's fun. Oh, by the way, Suicide. Is that Vic from fucking Nightmare 5?
Yes. There's 2 Nightmare 5 alumni in this.
Yes. Yes, there is. Isn't that with Demon?
Suicide and Demon, which I just wanted to bring up because his character in this, Spider.
Friday 5, you mean? Friday
Yeah.
5.
Oh yeah, Friday 5. I said Nightmare 5. Sorry, Friday 5.
Yeah, no, okay, that's why I got confused. I'm like,
Friday
Nightmare
5.
Then when you said Demon, I'm like, okay.
Friday 5 alumni. Sorry, we just did the Nightmare series, so I guess it's still fresh on my mind. But McGill, Nunez Jr. He's got some amazing dialogue in this movie. He's absolutely fun to watch. He's a great character. He almost kind of has that heroic moment, and it ends up being all for nothing, really. And
yeah,
I just love like his character in this movie.
Got a lot of soul glow in this movie. He's really glowing.
He's great.
Yeah, they said he was homeless when he was cast in this film.
How about when he says, I try not to think about dying too much.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, she was nuts, Trash, talking about that.
She was great.
Oh, she's great, but that's like crazy talk, and he's just like, yeah, I try not to think about that too much.
I want to get her on the show. I want to get her on. If we can find a movie to review, I think I can get her to come on with us.
Oh, absolutely. When I met her, she's a very approachable person, really nice individual, and
Linnea?
Yeah.
I met her back at the Figuria Weekend of Horrors. They did a zombie thing, and we filmed it on stage. It was that's going back to 91.
When she was still smoking Cheech and Chong style.
So this movie is shitloads of fun. It was on my top 20. I blew my load on it before, so it should come as no surprise where I'm coming in for my ranking, but I'd love to hear what you guys think.
I'm going to mention one more thing. I love the angle about the rigor mortis setting in with the two guys.
Rigor mortis? What do you mean rigor mortis?
That whole thing with them being dead and switching the fucking, when the paramedics come and they're I don't get a heartbeat here and this and dude, that's
and
so
then
cool.
they switch.
Great dialogue. You're seeing the comedy in the beginning, but then you got that carrying it through. Like there's enough of that shit carrying it through, man.
There is enough. I just think that it's 75% of it's the first act. That's all I'm saying. It's still there. I just, you know what I mean? But man, that's another. There's no other movie I've seen it with that concept of rigor mortis setting, and to whoever the script, just the idea of doing that and have them getting sick and doing their shit and freaking, what happens, and they set up for it because that guy would know. That's his job, and you see that he's working out the rigor mortis earlier. He's talking about bending the bones, and you know what I mean? Man, I tell you.
Yeah, very cool.
The callbacks, small callbacks like that, enriched the script. Again, he said he wanted them intentionally step in on each other's dialogue at the beginning. That's why when they're walking and they're playing the music, the dialogue is so, like, you might think it's pacing issues, but he said he wanted that. It just adds to that kinetic tension of this movie.
I'm with you. It's great. I have a question. This is a nitpick, maybe. I never noticed it until this time. When Freddie's girlfriend, I forget her name, I have to apologize. Tina runs, and she's trying to get inside for what seems like a little bit of a time. She's trying to get into where Freddie is. Okay. All of a sudden, the rain comes, and she just suddenly opens the door and walks in. Did I miss something?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think she actually tries to get in. I think she's just knocking and wondering why no one's coming to get her or opening the door. Then the rain comes, and then she just goes in.
Yeah, it's open because they all left to go to the crematorium. So they didn't lock it because they were in full panic because they had to get rid of those weasels.
Okay, rabid weasels. Okay,
rabid
weasels. Okay, well then there you go. Not a fault. Nothing wrong with it. That's great. I mean, what else can we say? Shit, let's.
They should have featured the lamb chops more.
No, they should have had Lamb Chop, that puppet. He should have been in the movie. Remember him?
I
Sherry
love
and Lamb Chop.
Shari Lewis.
Yeah, there you go. Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop. Speaking of names, did you guys see that in the opening credits, there's somebody in this movie by the name of Kathleen Cordell.
I didn't see that.
Yep. Kathleen Cordell. Yep. Oh, shit. But yeah, what a great movie. What else can we say? The score's great. The soundtrack's great. Just things you don't see in other zombie films. I mean, come on. That tracking shot is awesome, too. Like I said before, with the rain coming, and then going underground, and the fucking... Why they replay the exact same scene later, I don't know. At the very end of the film with the skeleton rising up, which is awesome. And Do You Want a Pod? Is awesome. Yeah. So fucking great.
You don't care, you don't care that they recycled the shots because it's such a cool... exclamation mark slam cut ending. Like, it's just perfect. They had the brilliant idea of recapping some of the best dialogue sequences that happen throughout the movie. It's almost as if they knew they had something good here, that they're going to recut it for the final credit montage there.
Awesome. And you guys realize when the first zombie, which by the way, that zombie melting with the opening credits, fucking amazing. I love it. We talked about the soundtrack. We didn't necessarily talk about the score, but the score to the opening track, God, it's so fucking good. It fits the film perfectly. And that cadaver, when it first runs out, that naked guy, you realize he gets out, he runs directly at Bert.
He tackles Bert.
And he goes, whoa! Like the scream that Bert has is comedy genius too.
Oh God. Oh, so funny. So good. So good. But yeah, all the performances are great. It's fucking awesome. Like I said, I came around, I stepped back and I watched the third act and I said, you know what? This is still really good horror. So what that I prefer the first act? It doesn't mean that the third act is not fucking still awesome. So I've come up. It's 10 out of 10 for me.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah, see, I'm not that quite high because I still have a few nitpicks that I think could have been done better. I don't know why. Just the voice of the female skeleton just bothered me. It just didn't hit me.
Are you serious? Not people, brains. You don't understand?
It felt. It was goofy and it wasn't funny. I felt like that maybe could have been a little bit more of a serious moment.
Oh man, yeah, but in this movie,
I know, it's weird but Frank again has this serious moment where he sacrifices himself, because he doesn't want to turn. And of course, in the third act, instead of focusing so much on zombie cops and zombie mobs, I would have loved for Trash to have featured more and a few more people get killed, a few more main characters, I should say. Maybe kill Spider, kill Chuck, kill Casey. Too many people maybe kill Bert. Too many people are alive when the missile comes. Oh, what is that? You hear that? It's just like so obvious it's a missile.
I know, right? What else would
I love it. I love it.
But who wants to believe that? Think about this.
No, I know. I wouldn't want to believe it either. And I love how the army is just so casual. Yeah, it's only like 5,000 dead. Yeah. It was 20. Yeah, it's just, we minimize casualties. I mean, I still really love it. It's a childhood memory, and there's a lot of nostalgia for it. I'm not quite a 10, but I'm at a solid 9.
Well, get ready to induct it into the Hall of Fame. I was a little worried that you're coming in a bit lower because, as you well know, I've rated this a 10 out of 10. It's on my top 20. It was my favorite horror movie at one point in time, and it's still in that top 10. And so it's a 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
Nice. 29. Nice. Inducted. That's fucking wonderful. One more thing. I was thinking about that scene. The pain of being dead. The reaction that fucking Ernie has. He goes, you mean it hurts to be dead? And he looks all scared. I love that. Little subtle fucking things like that.
I don't know why. The voice just bothered me for some reason.
Wow.
I don't know why.
I don't get it, but I could understand that as a complaint. I could. That's fine. I mean, I've seen things I didn't like the voice on some things either. So
yeah,
I don't have a problem with it. But different.
But the explanation, like you said earlier, it's so great. They really pay attention to detail really well in this film for something that's just kind of batshit and goofy. They you talk about a great script. There's a lot of great attention to detail throughout the whole thing. And they continue with it in the sequels. It's just other things fall way short in the sequels, and we'll get to those
soon.
Indeed,
yeah, very soon. Indeed.
Yes.
Indubitably. Yep.
When we get back, we're gonna have a triple R, and then we're gonna go into part 2. And yeah, that's the theme of the night: triple R followed by feature. Rock and roll. Hope you guys like this format because we do. But yeah, trips on the flips.
Hey, Paul, what I was thinking is that we need to cut a promo.
Yeah, I've been working on some ideas. It's just I don't really know where to go with it exactly. What if I got like a filter where we could just kind of talk normally and we can have kind of a script, but then I can like filter it so that one of us will have one kind of voice and then one will have the other.
I want to put my request. Make me as Freddy Krueger. Can you do that?
Maybe instead of the voices, what if we tried to like write a skit, develop a whole thing, and we have a backstory? But I don't know. That might be kind of too long. So
Like screeching cars and explosions and fireworks and
yeah. Well, what about?
I like it.
Maybe instead of doing a filter, we could just like reach out to Robert Englund himself, and maybe he can just record a promo for us sometime. Do you think? I mean, we might have to like raise some money.
We can do a Kickstarter, and we could just throw it out to like Robert Englund and just all kinds of actors, and I think people will do that.
I think.
Sure, why not?
Well, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we're overthinking this whole thing. How about if we just tell people where to find us?
I like that.
You can find us at Who Will Survive on iTunes, Stitcher, on the Legion Podcast Network, and on the Raw Live and Unedited Podcasting Network. Also on Facebook and Instagram under the same name.
Oh, wait. Can we do it underwater with
that-
piranhas killing me?
That would
And
kind of be brutal.
And if that doesn't work, then you can do the regular promo.
All right. Well, just get in the water and I'll go get some fish.
All right, cool.
And we're back. Okay, Triple R time. Triple R. This one is selected by our patron, Paul Garcia. It's 1974's made-for-TV Killdozer.
Killdozer.
He wants to hear what we have to say about this film.
It's a funny title.
Oh,
A
yeah.
small construction crew on an island is terrorized when some strange spirit-like being takes over a large bulldozer and goes on a killing rampage. This one is directed by Jerry London.
I will say one thing. I think Stephen King snorted a bunch of coke, watched this movie, and then said, I gotta write Maximum Overdrive.
Right? I feel you, man.
I think he went on a big binge, and this happened to be on the TV, and he said, fuck it. Asteroid and all trucks and cars are evil.
Yeah, this one is a much simpler premise. We get an alien rock at the beginning. It lands near a construction site. The crew is working to build. I think they're building an airstrip or something. And one of the crew leader gets in the bulldozer, hits the rock. The energy is transferred into the bulldozer, and then all of a sudden it has a mind of its own and it starts killing people.
And that is it. But
And
it
that's the
kills
whole
people
movie, pretty much.
very slowly, yet they don't ever want to do anything about it because they don't want to let on that anything wacky's happening there. And it's an hour and 15 minutes. It's not boring because it's so short. However, not much happens.
It's got a good cast. It's got a good cast of name actors. I mean,
Yes,
you got Neville Brandon there. You got some other guys who are well known.
Clint Walker.
Clint Walker, yeah, who's the lead. It's a good cast. I think the issue for me with this film is for a short film like this called Killdozers, I want cool kills from the bulldozer, and they're not that cool because it's made for TV, so there's really no gore. And it's almost silly. I almost think of that scene in Austin Powers where the guy's screaming when the bulldozer's like a mile away from him, moving at like a mile an hour.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it is. I read this in like the trivia section that the D9 bulldozer moves at like a speed of like 7.3 miles per hour, and the average human jogs at 8.4. So technically, they could have jogged the whole movie and just stayed ahead of this bulldozer. But that's fine. Like, I'm not going to nitpick that because that's not an issue, because you're obviously going to suspend belief and just go along with a goofy movie called Killdozer.
But it's not goofy. It's goofy in the sense of the
premise.
Bulldozer hit the premise. The bulldozer hit the damn alien thing, but they play it fucking straight, which is the weirdest part of it all. Like when people die, they give them proper burials, and they're like drinking to them, and they're doing. You're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, that's great. That's the best part.
I know, but you're like, seriously? So like, but they call it Killdozer still. So you have this wacky premise with a schlocky name that almost overpromises something, and then they deliver this sort of straight-laced movie that's still padded. I mean, I said it clicked along, but maybe I will step back a bit. It still kind of feels padded for an hour and 15, because it's like they're at the main scene. then they realize shit's going down, so they just try to go to the higher level, and it's still bad, and it's like literally takes place in 3 different areas of this construction site that they're on.
Yeah, I do like the fact that the Killdozer is actually an intelligent being. Whatever's transferred in there is an intelligent being, and I do like how it's outthinking these men. It attacks them with the rocks off the cliff. It gets into positions where it actually traps them and kills some of them. That's cool. It's just, make this as just a regular movie like a Maximum Overdrive. Take the TV out of it, and you could add gore to some of these kills, and that was awesome. And I agree with you, Christian. I feel like even though it was well done playing it straight, it should have been goofy with a title like that.
Fuck that. No.
It should have been.
With a title like Killdozer, yes.
I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. That's where I have to disagree, because if this movie was made nowadays and it would be called Killdozer, it would be goofy. Everybody on the camera would fucking be in on the joke. It'd be nod and wink. They'd be fucking patronizing. They'd be playing up the fucking thing. That's what sucks about modern fucking comedy horror. That you can't have back in these days, you can have a ridiculous premise with something called Killdozer and still play it straight. There's still some unintentional comedy, which to me is 100% better than when they try to make things funny nowadays. Don't you think it's funnier? Didn't you get more laughs watching something like this and when that one guy can't get away, which makes no sense, and he crawls into that fucking pipe and ends up getting killed?
Yeah, that was like the stupidest. He keeps falling every 2 seconds. He's like, he stands up, he trips. He stands up, he trips. Then he's like, oh, I'm going to hide in this pipe. And then he just gets fucking rammed.
Yes, it's ridiculous, but it's funny. That's what I'm saying. You can watch this movie with your friends and fucking and have laughs at it instead of watching a fucking sci-fi movie now, because that's where it would be made for nowadays, and it would be a fucking schlock fest, and it would be shit. That's why this is what horror. This is what it should be.
I'm torn. I totally see your point, and again, having good actors.
There's character development.
There's character development. They give good performances. You're right in that sense. It's just the title and the lack of gore hurts this film.
It's a TV movie. It's about a possessed fucking bulldozer. What would you have called it? So you're going by title alone. So instead of calling it Killdozer, you're saying if they would have called it Heavy Machinery or some fucking stupid
Heavy Machinery. Like, what is this? A porno about me?
Yeah. Oh shit, dude.
I get you. Well, I had never seen this, but I had heard of this film before, so I was Killdozer. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be goofy fun.
They didn't do goofy fun in 1974.
Yeah, there was nothing goofy or fun in the 70s, was there?
Well, in a way, like Deranged came out at the same time, and it's a little bit goofy, and there's some.
Wow, you find Deranged goofy? I find that like highly depressing.
Okay, this line here. Oh, I could date her. She's fat. That's not fucking goofy. Ezra Cobb, fucking some of the goofy.
Ezra always creeped me out.
Yeah, but he has goofy.
What movie you talk about a different movie?
Deranged. Yeah. The one where he plays basically.
You can't even talk about the movie we're talking about in a round robin review because there's nothing to talk about. You set up the premise, it plays out. There's serious actors in there. They take it seriously. I cannot. I found the movie to be run of the mill. Like, I guess I'm glad I saw it. I added it to my watch list. I mean it no disrespect, but it's not a good movie.
The goofiest part about it was the sound effects when the Killdozer finally takes over after being possessed. They started playing some really goofy like soundtracks to it. Really, really bad. I did like when Dutch, when he's like he starts drinking, he flips and he's like, I'm going swimming. And then he has the showdown. He doesn't even put up a fight against. He's like, "Fuck this." But the showdown with the shovel was pretty cool. But for me, the issue there towards the end was they have the showdown with the shovel, and they get out of the shovel and they run away. And here, this machine has been so intelligent the whole time. The machine stays by the shovel for way too long while these other two are running away and plotting their next scheme to try and destroy the Killdozer. I can't believe I'm even saying these words. Like
I can't either. The fact that you're thinking like this movie was one of those ones that just happened in front of me, and I'm like, oh, thank God, it's only an hour and 15.
No, I agree.
And when it was done, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I'm not gonna sink it. I will never watch it again. Brutally average. I mean, I can't. I don't want to fail it. it's not a 0 because there was production value here and everything like that, but nothing was intriguing to me. 5 out of 10.
Really? 5 out of 10?
5. It's just average. It's nothing.
That's exactly where I am. I can't agree more with this just being just perfectly average. I'm trying to nitpick it for the sake of giving, Paul, who picked it for us, just the the benefit of the doubt of some things that I thought could have been better. But yeah, it was painfully average. A great cast of characters that probably thought they were making a much better movie.
Now, I wonder if I caught this when I was younger on TV and it just happened to be one of those movies I grew up with, if I would have had a special... I don't know if that's what happened with Paul or not, but, again, just to give Paul a little bit more just desserts for picking this for us, like, I watch it and I gave you my thing. It just sort of, I was like, I expected more.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean... I like the character development and the arcs. I like things that happen with that guy. He's a hard ass at first, that Kelly guy, and what's going on, and how the guy's a drunk and everything. There's little fucking subplots to this film that go through, and it's an hour and 15 minutes, and you learn enough about like 4 characters.
Yeah,
and even the ones that die quick, you learn about them. So there's actually some character shit that you would never get if a movie like this was made nowadays. You would never get any of that shit. So I have to give it definitely above average for that because I was actually caring enough about the characters. And, of course, you're not going to get gore and shit, but there was interesting, funny type kills. And that one guy looked like Lamont. Did you guys notice from Sanford and Son, like Mr. Configuration? That guy, he totally looked like Lamont. But there's some fucking smart-ass dialogue. He is, something,
Is that why he got smoked in the pipe?
Yeah. Yep, he got...
That's racist.
Oh boy! Oh shit! But I don't know. I was looking. How about this? The Omen actually looks like it took a fucking thing from this, which led to be like a Final Destination. When you see the gear switch on the fucking, you know what I'm talking about? When you see the dozer and you see the thing being pulled, that's totally what happened in the Omen a couple years later when the guy cuts his head off. Yeah, you see little things happening. I hadn't seen that shit.
Man, if they had thrown in a decapitation, this would have definitely been bumped up for me. But the intelligence of the Killdozer was really cool when he puts out the signal fire. He's just chilling in the woods, hanging out, waiting. He's like listening because it's an entity.
Fuck.
It's an entity.
Yeah.
It's an alien life form Killdozer. It's so weird. I'm analyzing Killdozer like this. But
why did the guy say he's as green as your average fire truck? Did you guys notice that line?
He's as green as your average fire truck.
Yes. How the fuck is a fire truck green?
Who said that, and what was that in reference to?
I think he was talking about how one of the guys on the crew is new, like green. You know what I'm talking about? It was definitely said, so I wrote it down. That's all. But if nobody remembers, forget about it. How about the guy smoking a cigar by fucking a thing that says high explosives?
Yeah, Neville Brand was smoking in the truck when the whole truck says flammable on it.
Whatever. We said what we were going to say, I guess. I have to give it a props because if it was made nowadays, it wouldn't be a movie called Killdozer would be that would be painfully average or worse. It would be fucking sci-fi bullshit. They would all be in on the joke. They would be looking at the camera and fucking winking, and they would be hamming it up. Where this film, there's characters, there's fucking an asshole character, but you find out why. There's shit going on. I would rather see that than goofy shit that it could have been. So
I agree with that. I think just the title compared to what we got is just very misleading. Like this is a better cast of characters performing a better movie than a title like Killdozer suggests. But it's just not as entertaining, even though you're right. We do get great character development, great dialogue between them, and you learn enough, and you do care about them. You want to. I didn't want to see any of them die. They're genuinely good, hardworking guys. But if they are going to kill them, at least
I want to see them dead. The thing was called Killdozer. Kill, for Christ's sake.
Well, that's the thing. When they are going to kill them, though, make it bloody. But you can't because it's a TV movie, so it just doesn't. I don't know. It's very weird that this became a TV movie.
Well, you know what? I agree with what Dave was saying too, but I now challenge the Sharknado team to remake this movie.
Oh, stop.
Just to piss Dave off.
Oh, stop it. Good.
And Ian Ziering is Kelly.
just please. No. Anyway.
Tara Reid can be Mac.
Tara Reid can do anything she wants. I'm fine. I put her on my screen. I like her. That's fine.
I like her too. I got nothing against her.
Me either. But people give her way too hard a time. She still looks good. Anybody out there listening that isn't married would fuck her. I don't care what you do. Tara Reid walks in your door right now and says, fuck me. You're going to bend her ass over and fuck her. So shut up. Anyway.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
Because I always see
angry
people
rant about fucking Tara Reid.
People always rag on her and say she looks like shit and blah, blah, blah. And I watched her in Charlie's Farm, and I said, girl's still hot. What the fuck? So she's not a perfect 10 anymore like she was in the 90s. So what? The girl's still pretty.
People age. That's what happens. You get older.
Yeah, I understand. And she lived a little bit hard, but I mean.
So I'm the exception to the rule. Big deal. I stayed a perfect 10. Big deal.
Dude, I'm just saying. I don't like when people that are sitting fucking behind keyboards judge celebrities because the things that happen, and they act like it's they're a 4. You know what I mean? When they're still hot. Like if that girl lived next door to you and she came over and paid any attention to your fucking sorry ass, you would hook up with her in a heartbeat. That's
He's talking to you, see, when he said sorry ass.
Anyway, 6 out of 10, man. I'm cool with it.
I don't think 5. I didn't feel like 5 was a bad score. Like I just felt like I saw it once, and I'm probably never gonna watch it again. Cool poster art, though.
I didn't see it.
I like the poster.
Why is that not hanging up on your wall, Dave?
I'm buying it next. Killdozer. I'm gonna look on eBay tonight. Awesome.
It's less comical, the poster, than that Evil Dead poster you got hanging.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Paul. Though seriously, like we'll cover anything. I like seeing movies that I've never seen before. Yeah, anything horror. Unless we're collaborating with 22 Shots, then of course we'll do anything.
Okay, all right. Are we ready to move on with ROTLD?
ROTLD.
ROLF.
Rolling on the floor.
LMAO.
LMFAO.
Yeah, there you go. KMFDM.
All right, so let's get right into it. Written and directed by Ken Wiederhorn. Return of the Living Dead 2, 1988. Curious kids unearth the barrels that helped revive the dead of the first film, which proves the second time's an undead charm.
I may have mentioned this on the show before, so again, if you've gone through them all, God, you repeat stories a lot, guys. Fuck you. The reality is that this came out at the time when I was really getting into horror. It was on video. I was like I said, I had caught certain movies or scenes from movies earlier, and it freaked me out. But I really wasn't into that age 14 that I really started watching movie after movie after movie after movie. And what I did, and I don't think I mentioned this in the Phantasm show, but I'm pretty sure I did this with Phantasm, Evil Dead, and Return of the Living Dead, was I saw the part 2s first.
Wow.
Really?
I'm almost positive it was for all 3 movies.
What 3, see? What 3?
Phantasm 2, Evil Dead 2.
Fuck.
And Return of the Living Dead 2. Now,
you know what this means, Dave? He's giving this a 10 out of 10, Dave.
By no means am I giving this a 10 out of 10. But I hadn't seen a lot of comedy horror. So I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was laughing, but I also thought it was cool. And I also thought they did some great things with the zombies. It's a silly-ass movie. I'm not going to overly defend it, but I'll probably be higher than both of your ratings.
I can tell that already.
And this is, I already prefaced this with the other movie. This is a full comedy horror. They knew this going in, and half the people when they're making the movie, there's a documentary on this too that's on YouTube called They Won't Stay Dead. And it's funny. Most of the people are just trashing this film. They didn't want anything to do with it. They don't even know if Dan O'Bannon was coming back, if he was even invited back. It seemed like Tom Fox was like an investment banker. He had the money. He had the rights to the Living Dead name. He took a script. Ken Wiederhorn made a zombie script, said, we'll make that if we throw Living Dead 2 in the title. And then they just fine-tuned it to fit with the trioxin, just to have some link. And then Tom Fox said he wanted James Karen and Tom Matthews to come back.
Yeah, and
shit on it all you like.
Well, no, look, they didn't capture magic in the bottle again for me.
No.
James Karen and Tom Matthews.
Yeah. But they were still good together.
Oh, they were good together, but I felt like, I didn't like the fact that they forced in the same lines from part 1. It just... One line,
no?
Just no, weren't there 2 lines?
They had Kiss. They put the kiss in there. Watch your tongue, boy, if you like this job.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I don't even know what this is. What is that? Kiss.
Well, he says it to his wife, just as a side. You're talking about andale in the Nightmare series, and there was he said, "Keep the pot roast warm, kiss," or something like that to his wife on the phone. And then this one, he holds up the severed head, and he's like, "Kiss."
Why is that funny? That's the brilliance of part 1. Keep the pot roast warm, kiss.
Okay, he does say that, and of course, okay, fine, I missed that, but I like this job that happened again. James Cameron was still great, though. He was still his bug-out self, overreacting and yelling and fucking freaking out. Only thing is, where did they go? Halfway through the movie, they were gone, or they were doing something else, or they became zombies. They should have lasted fucking first frame to final frame, because they are the saving grace of the film.
They are the movie. And again, I knew you guys wouldn't like. Well, actually, let me rephrase. I knew Dave wouldn't like it, because now we're focusing on a kid. Again, my thing when I was 14, I related to this, so I absolutely loved it. So at the time, I was like, this movie's great. I watched this movie a lot. Never said it was a 10 out of 10, even back in the day. But I watched it a lot.
Tell you what, people are gonna love it now. Didn't it just recently get released by fucking by Screenfest?
It's getting a release, and you know what? I was actually pretty excited about it, thinking, all right, I have the first one now. I'll probably pick up the second, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick up the second.
Oh, I will. I would.
Not for these prices. What do they charge?
Well, no. Right now, it's like selling for like 34 or something. It'll drop. It'll drop eventually.
Yeah. You know when you're gonna get that movie? A year from now, when Screen it has their summer of fear sale, and you can get it for $15 because that's what.
Or Best Buy will have it for 15 in like a year.
So the reason is that the DVD release suffered from some rights issues, so they couldn't reinstate all the music that, although not nearly as good as the first soundtrack, had a pretty decent soundtrack unto itself, but for the DVD release, they had to put like stock music in. Like I said, I'd watch the movie over and over and over again. I'm like, this is not the same music. Something's not right here. Something's wrong. And I was fucking around with my audio, and I put it on the French audio, and all the right music is there, but it's all in French. I don't know what happened, but on the DVD, the Canadian version, the French audio has the proper music. The English audio does not. It was a rights issue. And supposedly the Scream Factory edition is going to fix 95% of the music issues, or 90. There's like one track that they couldn't get back or something like that, but all the key tracks are in. And
they're terrible. Fucking Doctor, give me the news. After that amazing soundtrack in part 1, you get that in this fucking.
No, but there's other good songs throughout the picture. Yeah.
I guess I'm just comparing it to part 1, and I'm like, how do you go from that classic soundtrack to this? And the only thing that I remember is Doctor, give me the news. I gotta. Come on, what am I watching?
I don't even know what part that's in.
It's in the third act for sure.
I know people shut on this, but like, it's not in the same class as the first movie. But for a zombie film, I can rewatch this. I like it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's just a lazy setup, like the army, the guy driving the truck with these tanks with these canisters on the back. He's smoking pot. Yeah, it felt. You're right. It was very Tromish.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then the punk kids, and that's what it was.
It's the Creepshow 2 effect. That's all. It feels like a TV movie, and it's like watching Creepshow 2. And I don't hate Creepshow 2, but what I'll say is this: you watch Creepshow and then immediately follow it up with Creepshow 2. You're gonna notice a completely difference in tone and production and the way it's presented. They don't have that good. It's hard to explain it, because we're not doing a Creepshow show. But what I'm saying. If you watch the same thing here, watch part 1 and then go right into part 2, and it's like you have a great atmosphere in the first one, and you have things you could do, and you just cast it all aside, and the first thing you get into is a kid, and it's just bad decisions. You know what would have been a good idea? They should have brought the entire cast back from part 1 and put them in different parts, because his girlfriend Brenda was fucking horrible. Tom Matthews' girlfriend in this film is a very unlikable character for me. The way she screams, the way she acts.
Oh, I like her though.
I like her though. She's great in other movies. I mean, what's her name? Suzanne Snyder. Suzanne Snyder from Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Weird Science and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well,
But
I much preferred the girlfriend from the first movie.
Yeah, Brenda's character felt like a waste in this. I felt like the two groups don't come together as well in this. There are some funny lines, but I felt like the funny lines were courtesy of like the doc, were courtesy of like even Jesse, the kid. But it doesn't hit like the first one.
Oh, you can't compare. Like if you're comparing it to the first one, it's a misfire, 100%.
But why? Why? If you had this opportunity to make this film. You are an amateur filmmaker. If you watch Return of the Living Dead,
it was made as a franchise. Like this is a perfect opportunity to talk about franchise films. Where you're the franchise. This was Tom Fox saying, "I've got these fucking rights. I've got people willing to give out money. I need a script. Hey, I got the zombie script. This guy wants to make a movie. We're gonna throw Return of the Living Dead 2 in the title." It was money talks. That's it. If you can't accept that's the why.
Well,
money talks.
This one was too much running around. The characters didn't come together the way I liked it, and I thought the zombies did not look nearly as good as they did in the first one. In fact, at one point, one of these zombies, I even wrote he looked like a fucking ghouly Muppet. It really was. It was when Beth confronts one of the zombies in the cemetery.
Punches it in the face?
That was okay.
Might have been one. There was just one. Maybe it was the one that was following Beth. I don't know. They brought back Horace Glover, the army guy. They should bring him back and have him eating lamb chops. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
You know what? That would have been funny. You know what? But this movie's not that clever. Let me rebuttal a few things. So some of the great tracks on this one is Space Hopper. That's the one that's kicking in at the beginning. It's poorly edited in on the original, on the new version or the DVD version. On the original VHS or what is going to be coming out in Scream Factory will be put back in properly. Space Hopper. Then there's I'm the Man by Anthrax. And,
what?
Yeah, and then
I didn't hear that. I love Anthrax.
Flesh to Flesh by Lamont. Funny enough, a band Lamont. Good
Dude,
song.
I did not hear Anthrax. So maybe I got that DVD version, the one I saw. I saw it online. I don't know,
To rebuttal, they had way more time. It was one of the same makeup guys that came back from part 1. He said he had way more time. Yes, he could tell that they're going for a more comedic tone. Wasn't his thing, but it was a job for him, and he had to make the things. What he did say is he made a ton of great designs that were easily able to be changed quickly so that they looked like variations of zombies, but they were definitely masks. And the one thing you could see is that even though he tries to blend in the eye makeup, you can really see that they're just wearing zombie masks.
Yeah.
Again, I guess I am defending this movie because the nostalgia does kick in. I admit, I told you, I'm repeating myself, not in the same ballpark. It's not there with the original, but there was a little bit. It wasn't a total misfire. There was a little bit of a try. The trioxin was the carryover. The soundtrack was a carryover. Yes, they focused on a kid, his dorky sister, and the cable repair guy. They followed them.
I liked Dana Ashbrook, who went on to do Twin Peaks and stuff. He was good, but again, I don't know if that whole line was necessary. Even though I didn't love Joey and Ed as much as Frank and Freddie. Maybe if they had focused on them and maybe they meet up with the doctor because Doc was funny.
You know that they wanted Ernie back.
That old for me.
Yeah, Ernie would have been great if Ernie came back. But Doc Mandel felt like the Ernie character of this one. Not as good, but definitely had some lines that were funny.
It should have been him. They should have brought Linnea, but they should have brought every person they could have back from the first one and put him in this, and that it would have immediately improved it for me. If you're going to do them all.
And again, the voice, the head that they take.
Awful.
The voice, it sounded like a southern redneck. It sounded like a Larry the Cable Guy type. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Fucking God. Is that the one that had the screwdriver on its head?
Well, that would be your jump the shark moment for you, Dave. That I laughed my head off at 14 years old. I admit it. Get the damn screwdriver out of my head. I'm like, I turned to my buddy. What the fuck? Like, we knew it was ridiculous, but we liked it. I thought these characters did stuff like they like go to a meat packing plant. I thought there were some interesting parts to this overall kind of misfire comedy.
I like when he says to his sister, they seem to be only drawn to brains, so maybe they'll leave you alone. That was funny. And I guess the scene at the hospital where he like, is it cancer? And the doctor's like, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad. Why was she afraid of her brother in the window? Her brother was in the window and
Brother's supposed to be upstairs, not outside. Like, it's just that reaction. I actually thought that was well done.
Okay, I guess maybe the way it was presented, it didn't seem to me like it was that kind of a scare. It was just like she looked up and just, I don't know.
Jesse at one point even makes a comment about dying so young, and it made me think of Friday 6.
Oh, stop.
It really did, because you got Tom Matthews and you got a little boy talking about, like, oh, I was waiting for Jesse to say, I wonder what I would have been if I grew up.
Well, Friday 6, you can't compare. Friday 6 is a better movie than this.
Yes. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I mean, you know what I liked? Here's what I liked. When the guy saw him, he goes, hey, the zombies were coming in, and you never saw this in a movie before. So I like this. And he goes, hey, he goes, that's my neighbor, Harvey. Yeah. Harvey, it's me. Yeah. I liked that. That was funny.
Well, because the doc sells it.
He says, Harvey, it wasn't my fault. We didn't have enough of the medication.
Right. I like that.
I like that, too. I liked the doctor a lot. That's because he reminded me so much of the Ernie character in the first
I liked him. It just seemed like he was too featured in the second half. He had too much screen time. It seemed like they were spending an awful lot of time with him, and
They spent more time with them, and Ed and Joey became kind of secondary characters that got lost. I mean, Ed they kind of abandoned because he bites those army guys, and Brenda's yelling at him. She's like, Ed, quit it.
And that guy that he's commenting to is Forrest Ackerman. That guy that's in the window. That was a cameo. But they took his glasses off. The director didn't realize his iconic glasses should have been kept on. He's like, can you lose the glasses? So there's a lot of bad-mouthing of the director of this, to be honest. That he just didn't get it. And the director openly said he looked like he wasn't really that into wanting to make a horror movie so much, so he was trying to make more of a comedic film.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just felt a little disjointed. A lot of running around. It seemed like they're at the hospital, they're at someone's house, then they're at the grandparents' house getting guns, and everybody was separating too much, and it felt like it was more running around and just than actual zombie fighting.
Yeah, too much of that running around action shit for me. And then the comedy towards the end, it just got worse with the comedy. Oh, rich and spicy brains, and then she's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm not into dead guys." And then she, come on, and then she fucking lets him eat her. What the fuck? And then maybe this is just the copy I saw. The fucking ADR when she got killed, it didn't match whatsoever. It was the worst fucking.
I never heard that before until this new until that version. Before he bit into her head, and I remember her going, "Oh," and it ended. It ended. Yeah. Now the DVD version says, "Take me, honey," or something like that. Something like that. I've never remembered it because it was only this version that I saw. Take me, honey, or something.
It was the DVD. Yeah. Terrible. So I'm glad. Hopefully, it better be. Scream Factory better fix it up then.
I'm sure they will. I don't remember that from my version, but I remember thinking, oh, this is just a stupid way to get rid of her character. She's just gonna let him eat her.
And talk about jumping the shark. Yeah, that guy with the screwdriver in his head was fucking awful. It was terrible. But the exclamation point when I wanted to shut it off. Now I'm being dramatic. Of course, I didn't want to shut it off.
Well, it doesn't make sense. How did the head get to the power plant?
Well, that was terrible. I understand. But at the very end, the real fucking shark jumper was when that Michael Jackson zombie came out.
Oh, my God, Michael Jackson.
I will tell you that wasn't even supposed to be in it. They said they're going to do it as a joke. The producer's like, no way, we're going to get sued. And then they decided to throw it in at the last minute. That wasn't going to be in the movie until the editing. They popped it in, and they said that when they went to promote the movie across the sea, all they wanted to talk about was Michael Jackson zombie.
Oh, no. That in conjunction with the dead joyriding, with the whole group of dead zombies joyriding, that was just bad.
I can't believe it, Brandon. You're coming down way harder than I thought you would on this one. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's silly, but I think it's fun.
Dude, that kid zombie was the fucking one of the worst
makeup. Worst makeup ever. Did he even have any makeup?
Terrible.
He was awful. He was awful. Think that was
terrible? Oh man, I thought I was watching like Bud the Chud. That part.
Billy the Chud. Billy the Chud.
Dude, Bud the Chud was probably the worst sequel of anything I've ever seen, followed by Pet Sematary 2. Terrible. This movie is not as bad as those two movies, but I will say that fucking kid zombie was as bad as the way Bud the Chud was.
He wasn't even a zombie. He was still talking to Jesse like he was at the beginning, still bullying him, and like it didn't even look like he was trying to pretend to be a zombie. He climbed the fence.
That kid, that was his only movie. He's actually on the audio commentary. It's him and the director. I liked all that. They had dead kids in this. They had kids killing their moms. I mean, if you take it back and actually analyze some of those scenes, parents die, kids biting their moms' heads, kids die in this, dogs get killed. They get chased in birds as they're attacking like the pet store.
Oh, the pet store was hilarious. But everything, like you said, even though I agree with you that it's cool that kids were killing their moms and the kids were getting killed, everything was like cutaways.
Well, yeah, because they weren't going for the gratuitous. The gratuitous came more from the zombies. They were allowed to get away with the gore if the zombies had the gore, but when it came to people, other than James Karen. God
in heaven, James Cameron.
James Karen had to bite into that soldier's head and take out the brains.
That was cool. Matter of fact, for the most part, the practical effects landed. I was fine with them. That's one of my notes. The practical effects, for the most part, are fine. It was too busy with bullshit. I wish I could have edited the film and shortened a good 10 minutes from it and just made a few changes, and I could have enjoyed it more. It wasn't.
And that zombie head was a girl too, because the head even says at the end, "Don't hit a girl when she's down."
Yeah. They should have showed that head. They should have showed that head rolling.
They should have showed the head. Yeah, that would have made more sense because they left it in the house. Well, it got kicked there, and then all of a sudden it shows up at the power plant at the end.
It was to give that final cut. It's just to get that final joke. All right, you win. No more brains.
Yeah,
it's stupid. I admit, but it's stupid fun. But again, if you can't surrender yourself to enjoy it, or if you're hoping for a reprise of the original, you're going to be really upset.
I like them using the beef brains to set the trap to lead the zombies. I like the doc asking the question about who the president is, not getting tricked by the gag from part one with, the send more cops, send more police joke. He's not getting fooled by that. I like that. But, it just didn't have the same effect on me as I guess it did you.
Well, there's a lot of nostalgia here, but then I tried to separate that to watch it here. I said, yeah, there's a lot of groaners. There's a lot of bad jokes. But there's a lot of good practical effects and enough gags throughout. And I'm not talking about the gag. Like, one of my least favorite ones is when she rips off his jaw. I love when she rips off his jaw. I hate the cutaway when it comes back to him. He's like, trying to feel around for his jaw, and his eyes are going. That's the shark jumping part of the joke. They had the gag work with the jaw being ripped off. Beautiful. Right. It's the cutback. So, like you said, if you got your hands on the little editing there, I could have trimmed that part out, and it probably made a few more things hit. But overall, I don't know if you. I will wait because I don't know if you guys are done talking about it.
Yeah, I'm done. It wore out its welcome.
Yeah. Hey, Billy, your fly is open. And then, of course, Michael Jackson shows up, and it's like, all right. It's like, all right, I'm done.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. I don't think I'm going to come in as hard as Christian thinks. It's
me either.
5 out of 10. It's fucking average. That's it. Thankfully, the first act, having those two guys, helped it. The practical effects, for the most part, were good. It just wore out its welcome, and it got way too goofy for me. But I'm not hating on it. It's just an average horror flick, and it's not my cup of tea. But 5 out of 10.
Yeah, and I'm actually above that. I'm coming in at a 5 3/4 rating. I don't hate it as much. It's just there was opportunities there, especially bringing back James Karen and Tom Matthews to really at least make them the stars this time. And even though they were technically the stars in part one also, but they kind of got pushed by the wayside for the kid, his sister, Dana Ashbrook, and while I have nothing against any of them, I don't know. It felt very disjointed character-wise. So 5 3/4. I would watch it again. I don't know if I'm not gonna run out and buy the new release right away.
James Cameron. Fuck me, James Cameron.
Again. I think if you're gonna.
Yeah. He didn't seem to have very good memories of this. Tom Matthews even worse. He said he hated this movie, so he didn't really have much to say about it at all. But I don't care. It's a fun movie. I was probably a 7.5 back in the day, but I tried to be as realistic as I possibly could, and it's 6.75. It's a fun zombie movie. You just can't take it too seriously. It's not a 10 out of 10 like the original. I think there's enough of a gap there that you can see that I'm not putting them in the same ballpark at all. 10 out of 10. I love Return of the Living Dead. People shit on Return of the Living Dead too. It has its problems. 6.75.
All right. And and thinking about bringing back James Cameron. Now I'm
Bada boosh.
James Cameron and Tom Matthews. Thinking about bringing them back. If you're going to a desert island and you want to bring 4 people, I say you bring back James Cameron, Tom Matthews, me, and Christian.
and Alex Harrow.
Okay.
Yeah, and you could all take the Titanic to your desert island with James Cameron.
And then he fucks it up. He should have said Cameron.
Yeah, I said Cameron. I said Cameron.
Oh, I wonder if James Cameron ever directed James Cameron. Look at the B. What can I say? All right.
James Cameron, I think, is still alive.
Yeah.
And he's like really old now. I don't know what the point I'm getting at. I think he's like really, really old.
Well, he's coming up to. He's born in 1923.
That's old.
Wow. Yeah.
He's still alive. He's gonna be 95.
He's 90. Yeah, 95. Wow.
And he's still acting. He has credits on here that are being completed now or filming. Good for him.
I'm talking about retiring at 65. This guy's fucking 95. He's working. Are you kidding?
He must not be getting any residual checks from Return 2.
That's why. Well, let's see what happens when Scream Factories comes out. That freaking. I'm sure it's overpriced. You'll get a couple dollars here and there. All right. Well, one more triple R. No. Sorry, not one more. Duh. A triple R and a feature.
Next on Triple R's is a pick from our boy D Bougie 86. It is 2010's Hong Kong film Dream Home.
Yeah.
Written and directed by the Pang brothers? Or is it just one of the Pangs? Are they even brothers? Ho Chung Pang?
The Pang brothers, huh? Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you are. I don't know.
Let me read the synopsis, then I'll look that up while you guys are starting to talk. Cheng Li Shuang is a young, upwardly mobile professional finally ready to invest in her first home. But when the deal falls through, she is forced to keep her dream alive, even if it means keeping her would-be neighbors dead.
Excuse you.
What, you hear the chair?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That time. Yeah.
These aren't the Pang brothers. These are different. The Pang brothers are directors, but this is a different Pang.
Holy fuck. Pang, Pong, Ping, whatever. Actually, Ping Pang Pong it's a restaurant.
Ping Pang Pong.
I'm not kidding you. That is the name. I used to work at a casino in Las Vegas. I was a dealer at a casino called the Gold Coast. And the Gold Coast has a lot of heavy mini baccarat action. And mini baccarat is the game that a lot of Asians love. Anyway,
I play mini baccarat a lot when I go to the casinos, actually.
Mini baccarat, okay, so you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I'm sitting next to all Asians when I play it.
There you go. So anyway, mini bac. They have probably 8 to 10 mini bac tables, and that's a lot for a casino to have. So they have a lot of action there. So they have a lot of Asian players. So they opened up a restaurant, and the name of the restaurant is Ping Pang Pong.
That feels like a very racist name for them to call it.
Doesn't it? And the funny thing, and they love it, and freaking, they would always ask for comps, because I was just a dealer, so I wasn't the floor. But they would comp these people anything they wanted to eat, because they spent a lot of money there. So it's so funny, because they would always go, they would hold up their fingers, and they would try to get the attention of the floor person, because they wanted to get comp for the restaurant, and they'd be like, 2 for Ping Pang Pong all day long. Ping Pang Pong, Ping Pang Pong. So.
Oh my God, I'd lose my mind.
I know, right? Yeah, but anyway, Ping Pang Pong, the Gold Coast in Las Vegas. Go check it out.
Yeah, so Dream Home. This was a second time watch for me. This is a good film, and this is a brutal fucking film.
It was a first time watch for me.
Oh, really?
Thank you, YouTube. I was either YouTube or iTunes because it was nowhere else, and YouTube had it for half the price of iTunes. So think if you're going to be renting, check out YouTube sometimes too.
Yeah.
Does this fucking guy work for YouTube now?
I know, but drink at Timmy's.
That's right. Drink at Timmy's. Absolutely. Dude, here's what's funny. This movie, the first time I saw it was on Netflix like 7 years ago, right?
Yes.
It was on Netflix for like 3 years. And then it was either on Shudder or Prime for the last 2 years. So to my knowledge, it was always there. Now when we go to look at it, to watch it for the show, nowhere to be found. It was crazy. It had to be rented. But I mean, for years, it was always somewhere. It's one of those movies where you take it for granted because it's always there. And I didn't watch it enough. This is the third time I saw it. But when we were doing the slasher stuff last year, and of course we were doing North American, I said this and Cold Prey. Probably every time I said, we're not going to see Dream Home. We're not going to see Cold Prey. Prey. Yeah, it is Prey. So, but I mean, but I know for a fact that those would have made the list. And
this is a great slasher because not only is it brutal and it's got awesome kills, but it's got a legitimate story that is very, very relevant. And very socially relevant, talking about how people's employment and their wages do not increase at the same value as property values are. And so nobody can afford to buy or live anywhere anymore. And that's a great setup for this film and where it goes.
And what's the connection from this film to our first franchise film of the night, Return of the Living Dead?
What? Hold on. Return of the Living Dead and Dream Home, a connection.
Both happen within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Okay. A zip tie? No, there were no zip ties in Return of the Living Dead.
It's simpler than that. It's simpler than any of that.
I feel like it's going to be a joke.
It's not a joke. Both are based on a true story. Or say they are. Both of them have based on a true story.
Yeah, they do.
I forgot.
This one's a little bit more believable because I could see somebody doing this one.
Well, no, of course, so it is half a joke because of Return of the Living Dead. But I mean, both of them say based on a true story. But this one, what a great idea, because you think about it. She's causing all this carnage and death. And before we get to the rampage part, some of those ominous shots of the hallways and the way that they film it with the music at the beginning, very haunting. And then even the credit sequence with all the long shots of all the buildings and whatever, I thought that was really well done. Great way to present the credits. It added like this sort of ominous tone to the movie. It felt like it could be anywhere. And then we get into the story and we focus on it more. And it seems to be one night in the life of this woman and what she's willing to do, but we are intercut with different time frames of her life.
Yeah, and the intercutting at times can get a little confusing, especially when we see her as an adult. They're kind of cutting, only a few years back, so you can't necessarily tell, except for the fact that she has the scar on her face because she receives it during the night of the slaughter. But tying it in with the corrupt but tying it in with the whole corrupt government and these corrupt developers, and seeing the backstory of her childhood, everyone she knows being evicted from their flats and thrown out, and seeing her promise that one day she's going to buy her parents this beautiful flat with a view of the bay, and that's why she becomes obsessed with this one particular apartment. And man, it's really, really well done.
I'll tell you something. I didn't realize until this time that the massacre happened at one time and that they were going back and forth.
Yeah.
I the first two times I took it as, but then as it's going on, this time I'm thinking, well, if she had this plan from the beginning to ultimately get this flat, as they call it, which I find weird that they say flat and they say shagging, and those are like UK terms, but they're saying them in Hong Kong, but I don't know. That she was going to get this flat at this price. I thought that it was meticulously planned out from the beginning, but then if that's the case, why is she acting this way towards the buyers and everything else if she knows what she's going to do? Well, in fact, no. Because of the timelines, everything happens.
Yes.
And then it's done. See, it's weird because I was explaining this to my wife, Irene. I was like, hey, listen, I want you to watch this movie. I think you'd like it because you would appreciate it. It's a woman and that she's doing, and there's no reason to spoil. I don't have to say. I was like, she's doing this in order to get this. And that's what I recall this movie as. But she comes to this conclusion as it happens, and it's almost like Does she do it on purpose at the end for those reasons or not? Or does she go there and lose her temper and flip the fuck out? And then that was a repercussion of her actions. You know what I'm saying? Was that her plan? I'm going to do this and then I'm going to get this for this price. Yeah, or did she lose her cool and then go there and do her things and then afterwards say, oh, wait a minute. Now, because of this is going to happen. You know what I mean?
I think it was her plan.
I think it was her plan too, because it's a clever social commentary. Like, okay, I can't afford this place. I'm being screwed because of my father's insurance policy that he didn't declare the one time. So now I'm not getting any of this money, or I have to pay all these high premiums or whatever the hell was going on, where she just couldn't afford this. She's like, you know what? The owners are doubling their asking price because the stock market is doing well. She's like, you know what? I'm going to drop the property value. And she uses it to get what she wants.
It's awesome, but it wasn't her plan all along. When she got that $2 million.
No, it wasn't her plan all along.
She thought she was fucking home free.
But then they raised the prices.
And then they raised the prices, and then she flipped the fuck out and then did what she had to do.
I would have liked to have seen her kill them.
That would have been cool.
She had a plan that she know who was in each flat, though.
I don't think so.
That part, she goes to kill the security guard, and then she goes up to the flats. And I think because everything happens so matter-of-factly, because it's told sporadically, you're seeing it sporadically through the film. If you actually watch it all the way through, as in like the scenes of her in the present time during the night of the slaughter, as Brandon put it. She goes into that room to meet that woman, doesn't realize, it doesn't seem like she realizes there's a pregnant woman there. So I think she might have just wanted to have one murder, but then that one murder turned into two, and maybe she thought she was going to go upstairs too, but she seems like she was going to kill that one person. There happened to be a pregnant woman there.
Right.
Shit happens. Then or husband comes home. Uh-oh. And then the music's pissing her off at that point, so she's got to go upstairs. It seems like it turns into our whole, like, event.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was going to escalate that high, because, like you said, it built in the one home with the pregnant woman and the husband eventually showing up, and then when she goes up to just check out the noise, one of the guys sees her.
Yeah.
So then, of course, she has to go in, and it's great, man. How about the brutality of that kill, especially with the pregnant woman? That's always that's a brutal kill.
That's hard to watch, but I loved, and it actually it's like a page taken out of one of my slasher films. The screwdriver through the back of the head, popping the eye out. Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Brutal, but nothing is like, I was cringing with the pregnant scene. Like, I was uncomfortable watching that scene.
Because she was pregnant, or because of just the way she died?
Because she was pregnant, but then the one extra step of I think the pregnancy definitely elevates it, but the whole suction.
Even the opening killing the security guard, zip tying his throat, and he's cutting his throat with that box cutter.
Yeah. Brutal.
The only kills that didn't land for me, there was one in particular. There were two towards the end. Both were with the cops, were gunshot wounds. And the one, when she shoots the cop in the side of the head, you see the bullet exit the other side, and it looks very CG, and it forms almost. It looks like a butterfly wound almost that it formed. And
it was the one misstep kill. They could have been done better. They could have just done a regular gunshot, but they do that exit wound and then the blood splatter on the camera lens, and it doesn't really work.
When she kills those punks, I won't even call them punks, just the druggies hanging out and the girls.
That's crazy.
She bashes that girl's head into the toilet. Oh my God! And then she stabs the one underneath the bed with a 2x4, and she's still alive later, and then she falls, and it goes, gore and story blended perfectly, because people always make fun of me because I'm not a huge gore person, but when it's done so well within the confines of a great story and good performances, then it's a home run for me.
It's more of like a slasher version of Inside.
Yeah.
Two movies that share a kind of a parallel, in a sense, of a woman psychopath. And we were talking about this. Remember, why are there not more women psychopaths? Remember, it was brought up on our show? Why can't a woman just go out and kill?
True.
Yeah, and this was the perfect example of that, because I guess you have to be a psychopath to be able to do something like this, but she was actually a normal woman who was trying to approach this in a normal way, just pushed to the point where it's like, I have to go to extremes. And it's almost, I guess is it satire you would call this then?
Yeah.
that she's doing this for the sake of just getting the flat she wants.
I think it's
satirical. Yeah,
it's satirical social commentary type stuff. It isn't like, I guess satire is the proper term. But just like Inside, her motivation, there's an end to the means here.
Yeah.
So once again, it's not a woman just being a slasher.
Yes, that was it. They wanted Michael Myers. No rhyme or reason. So you're right, because there was an end goal. And I don't think she'd kill again. Her whole killing spree was to get this apartment.
Can I ask a question pertaining to something we learned at the end? The little comment that because this was supposedly right around the time when America's crisis was happening, and it even says something about our mortgage crisis and how it's having global repercussions. So is that meant to say that this is somewhat of an anti-American film, or is that really meant to say that the global repercussions of the American crisis were going to drop property values anyway, and that everything she did was kind of pointless?
I don't think it was an anti-American thing, but I do think it was going to affect their market as well.
Almost like you didn't need to do this type of thing.
But no, it doesn't matter because she got what she wanted. She doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Money doesn't mean anything. She's had this obsession since childhood to have a flat at this place with the view of the lake.
Yeah, and it's sad because it was really more of a promise to her family who, her mother dies long before she's able to fill it. Her father gets sick and, the grandfather and, it was kind of sad. But
I think that they put that in to say, like, these things are ups and downs. Like, she could have gotten it without going on the killing spree.
Yeah. But you almost, but the backstory makes you feel for her, makes you like she's brutal and you don't want to see anyone get slaughtered that way, especially a pregnant woman. But you almost feel for her. I get why people go on these rampages given the corrupt government and banking system and everything. I mean, she's trying so hard, working 2 jobs, and she can't make ends meet to buy a small flat. I mean, it's not even like she's buying a mansion. The thing is small. They even say at the end, which I thought was, ironically funny, there's not enough room for your bed in your bedroom because you put your dresser in there or something.
But so she's happy.
Yeah, she's happy because she was able to, fulfill the promise that she had made.
Her demeanor completely changes at the end of the film. She accomplished what she wanted to accomplish. We saw her struggle, like you said, the 2 jobs, everything else, taking care of her father and her family. And her father doesn't really even necessarily deserve to be taken care of, but she's doing what she feels is the right thing for her family. And so
it changes, but I think those 2 things that Brandon said are kind of like sucker punches to her and the whole arc. So she went through all this, but then they talk about the market crashing. They talk about the bed not fitting. Nothing is fitting the dream properly.
Exactly. It's her dream home, but there's nothing dream about it. It's not like she's after this idea of something that's way above her means. It's just the system is so whacked that you can't even afford just a modest price flat.
It's true. It's the view. It's the view that rise. That's what it's all about. She wants that view, and that's what it is. That's high prices with real estate for a lakefront view, or what I mean. That does happen. Go to Seattle or New York City and see how much they charge for apartments that are just conveniently located, regardless of size.
Yeah.
Fuck Toronto, right? Get the fuck out of here, man. That's just it sucks, but that's just what it is. It's location, and then you throw a view into it, and you're talking a location, convenience and a nice view. Fucking A, man. They can do what they want because people are willing to pay because it's their dream home. Same thing. But again, for me, that adds to the film. But like any slasher, this is about the kills. They're creative, and almost every one of them is creative and gory.
Just disturbingly gory, in the sense of these are hard to watch in some cases, which makes them that much more powerful too. This is not Friday the 13th fun kills. You do draw a little bit of fun out of the brutality of it all, but because of how brutal they are, it's kind of mouth dropping. Holy shit!
Right, the zip ties and the fucking the glass bong and
oh man.
Awesome.
And glass bong was great when it's filling with blood.
Oh,
it's
awesome.
filling up. Oh, great scene.
And the knife, and that always gets me when you see a chef's knife in a film and it comes down and somebody grabs it from the other end.
Oh, yeah. Parents. I always think of the movie Parents.
Oh, I think of Psycho too. Norman Bates fucking grabs one. Oh, man.
What about the climax, if you will, of where, because that guy's fucking that girl.
The blood?
And he's being stabbed. And then she slices, and blood splatters on her back, and she thinks it's cum. Oh, you finished a lot or something like that. Because I don't know about the versions. Like, awesome. I will say the subtitles click very fast on this movie, and they're not really translated all that well. I don't know if it was just the version I watched, but I thought it still kind of seemed like disjointed English.
Yeah, it happens sometimes with that. One of the things that was really kind of out of whack that I couldn't understand was when they translated the money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, $4 million a month.
4 million HK.
Yeah, HK.
Yeah.
Definitely brutal kills. Like, some of that may have been CG, but most of that's flawless CG with the stabs, the eye, and whatever. It's just the one part that Brandon mentioned with that one gunshot wound. Forgivable, but you're almost like, why? Because everything else was so beautifully done.
You could have done a cutaway at that point, because those are the final kills. At that point, like, the brutality of the first 8 or 9 kills is enough to satisfy you that if you're going to do the gunshot wounds, you just do them cutaways or just do the blood splatter on the camera or something.
Through the foot. Oh, yikes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, there's some great stuff here. It moves along. It's an hour and 35 minutes. The movie's briskly paced. It gives you story. It's got a bit of heart to it as well. And it's vicious.
It is.
Pleasant surprise.
I'm glad
surprise, huh? You've heard us talk about it before. Shit.
Yeah, but I told Derek this in chat. Admittedly, I kept getting it confused with Dream House, the one that was with
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
That, you know what?
Which I actually
I'm not
like.
gonna lie.
I actually
like that movie too. That's what I was gonna say.
I liked it, so I'm like, yeah, I like it. Why is everybody going on about it? Like, I'd watched it twice. I actually watched it on the plane, and I loved it. And then I come home and I show my wife, and she's like, "You love movies you watch on a plane. I go, you should watch them again before you tell me to watch them," because she didn't like that movie. I thought it was great, but so I kept thinking, well, but why is everybody raving about it? Like I said, I thought it was great. I thought it was really good, but people were raving. I'm like, no, a totally different movie. Dream Home.
Well, what are you guys rating this movie? How high are you coming in?
Okay, well, I mean, again, first time watch. I will definitely have to check it out more. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in 9.5, just that half point higher.
Wow, I'm 8.5, and the only reason it's not low, but I mean, the only reason I'm that low is because I think that some of the downtime conversation, I think we could have achieved what was needed with there could have been some cuts. I know it's only an hour and 35 minutes, but I think this could have been an hour and 25 easily, and they didn't have to hammer home everything.
I agree with that. Specifically, I felt like they could have cut some of the scenes with her work friends, like the vacation talks and stuff. Like, we get it that she's obsessed with saving her money for the flat. That's what she wants to save her money for. So I felt like some of that felt a little drawn out, but I get what you're saying.
Even the stuff with her father and her grandfather and the kid when she was little could have been trimmed. I'm not saying, just that's all. A little bit.
You're just saying you like it trimmed.
Yeah, I do like it.
Not down to the blacktop, just a little trim.
That's right, a landing strip.
A landing strip. A pizza slice, if you will. A breadstick or a pizza slice.
I'm Italian. I'll take them both.
A happy trail?
Yeah, sure. Happy trails are always good, and so are happy endings. And this is a happy ending. All right. 8.5, 9.5, and 9.
Yeah, I was actually going to come in at 9, but once Christian gave it a 9 and talked about it first time viewing, I'm like, well, I've watched this more than once, and I really like it. So I feel like you're going to come up on it the more you watch it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Definitely recommended. So what do you got? One final break, come back. Part 3 and a final triple R, and we out. So, see you in a few.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I tell you, ladies and germs, that girlfriend of mine makes me so crazy. She told me she thought she'd look good in something long and flowing. So I threw her in the Mississippi.
Are you seeking discussion of horror on the small screen? Then look no further than Evil Episodes Podcast. Join your hosts, Mike Merriman, Brian Sammons, Jamie Sammons, and a large variety of guests as we break down all the favorites and not so favorites in horror TV. So grab a snack.
Oh wow! Candy critter!
And of course, be sure to grab
Carl! Carl!
and join us for Evil Episodes Podcast on the Horror Feeling Network and Legion Network of Podcasts.
All right, Return of the Living Dead Part 3 from 1993, directed by Brian Yuzna. Having recently witnessed the horrific results of a top-secret project to bring the dead back to life, a distraught youth performs the operation on his girlfriend after she's killed in a motorcycle accident.
First time watch.
Really?
Second time
Yes.
watch.
I saw it when I was a kid. Pardon me. I saw part 2 when I was a kid. Obviously, after part 1, watched part 2 once, and said, "Fuck it, I'm done with this shit."
I'm glad you correct yourself. You're there because when you were about to say I watched it once as a kid, I was gonna have to explain to you what a first time watch really means.
No. I caught myself.
That would be second view Dave.
Right. No, this is the first. I had the Vestron Blue and everything because I've heard people have more positive than negative. I said, you know what? Okay, I got the Vestron Blue, and here we are. And I've heard people rave about the girl. And wow, Indy Clark, Madonna Mia, oh, woo, so hot. Oh.
Yeah. You know what? I watched this movie about 5 times, and I agree. She's hot, and she went on, and she's still attractive. She went on to the OC or the O, or I don't know, something.
I know her from CSI. She had an arc on CSI, and I didn't realize that was her. But the woman on CSI, played by her, is a beautiful older woman, obviously now, because it was just a few years ago that show was on. And man, but she's stunning.
Guess what? I used to really like this movie, and I don't anymore.
I don't love it as much as other people do, but I definitely like it better than part 2.
See, and I don't. That's the funniest part. I used to like this before more than part 2, and fuck this movie. This movie is so cheesy. It's so fucking cheesy. It's so you're talking about at least part 2 said, yeah, we're going, like, whether you like the comedy or not, it was like, we're doing comedy. This movie is trying to play it straight, and it's fucking laughable.
Wow.
Well, I think they developed the story well. Here we are, the army is still trying to perfect the trioxin, and they have effectively come up with a way to not only reanimate the corpse, but to paralyze it. But
they haven't.
Well, they think they have.
Well, they try. They're trying.
And that's but that's the setup that they think they've come up with an effective way, and that's where it quickly jumps into the paralysis wears off, and you get a great brutal kill scene where these doctors are being just torn apart, limb from limb, and then they're being reanimated.
And within 2 seconds of that happening, well, let's go back to that other thing that this doctor over here had going with the machinery thing. I mean, it's so forced. I found it looks like a TV movie, except for the gore. It's really forced, the love story. The guy is totally miscast, the kid. He's too clean-cut, preppy looking to be with the Mindy Clark girl. Everything now, I guess because it's been a long time since I watched it, it just seems so calculated. And then 3/4 of the way in, they've got this Mexican gang that becomes major players in the movie, and you got Riverman, and everything Riverman says is the fucking worst thing you've ever heard in my life, and then he becomes a main character in the movie too. You're just like, what the fuck?
The sequel, the next one should have been a Riverman spin-off.
Yeah, it should have been Night of the Living Dead Riverman. Or Return of the
I liked Riverman.
Again,
the wise homeless guy helping Kurt and Julie. I love the motorcycle accident scene, man. I mean, she hits that pole.
Are you fucking kidding me? That was what I laughed about.
Cringed.
You see her like go airborne. Whee!
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Come on. You know what? It has good gore. There's some good gore scenes here. Again, practical effects. I love what Brian Yuzna does with with making like the bride, redeveloping the bride with how that whole montage sequence of having her do it. But then you're kind of like, okay, it's cool, but then it's really for nothing.
But it makes sense because she talks about how the pain makes her cravings for brains go away. So again, it's smart to think of something like that. and she does look sexy as hell. I don't know if I'd give her a hug, with all that stuff sticking out of her, but
it takes too long to get where it's going to. In my opinion, this movie's way too long for its own good. I find it drags.
It's the same length as the others.
Well, it feels way longer.
Really?
Wow. I enjoyed it. This is typical. I'm not over the moon of it, but I mean, after watching 2 and then seeing this and then seeing that Brian Yuzna did it, this is a typical movie of his. This I'm not saying it's on the same level, but
it has that feel of a Brian Yuzna film.
Yeah, dude.
It has that feel, and I think that's why I enjoy it more than Christian does, because I knew what I was getting going into it, and I bought the connection between Kurt and Julie, and that was the main focus. Yeah, she's a freaky chick obsessed with, like, why does she want to sneak in and see all this crazy shit? But I was down with it, and I like the Santos and his gang. It gives you people to cheer against and want to see get killed, and ultimately they do.
Yeah, they should have got killed in 2 seconds. They're like main players for like 45 minutes of the movie.
Well, because, I mean, you need to have more than just the army chasing them, because the father's not going to be trying to kill his own son. And I thought that connection was somewhat genuine. They tried. I'm not saying I'm like Dave, I'm not over the moon about it, but I feel like you're really coming down.
Well, no, because I used to really like this too, I guess. I watched this one a lot. And I hadn't watched it in ages and rewatched it, and I was laughing at it. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this movie's horrible. And I was not enjoying it at all. Now, I'm saying horrible, and I'm using all this emotion when I'm talking. Now, my rating's not going to be, it's going to be a Brandon rating when all's said and done. But I'm just going by, I had this in higher regard at one point, probably 7.5, 8 range. It's a massive drop-off. Massive drop-off from there. I found the gore being like really the only saving grace.
Yeah, the gore is the best part of the film, and I love the looks of the zombies and how they transform. Yep. I mean, I do think that some of it does look goofy, Santos with like his long spine head, but it looks good, and it looks better than what I thought Part 2 looked like, which, like you said, looked like just people wearing masks and you could see their eyes.
Dude, the third act of this film is everything that they should have done with Bride of Reanimator. I much preferred.
Yeah, you're right.
To Bride. It wasn't too much. Like you said about what's his name with seeing the spinal cord in the head. That was fine. They didn't just throw shit at the wall to see what stuck in this one. They just had a couple things they did, and her look was basically what Yuzna wanted to do with Bride and couldn't, and it kind of fell on its ass when the Bride herself came, and it wasn't enough. There was too much going on. He said, "Okay, I'll make this my bride," and he did, and she was the feature. And
this is the iconic image that the Bride should have been, but the Bride is just some stiff woman just standing there with her arms straight out, and this Julie's just badass, and I love the army experiments. And I know it's for 2 minutes, but it's badass for those 2 minutes. And then at the end, with the army, what they're doing, what they're turning them into like these immortal, unstoppable soldiers, and just what they do to Riverman and what they're doing to all the others. It's great. It's really like nightmarish.
Yeah, I like the whole pay it forward thing too with Riverman.
Oh yeah, cool. with his coin. Well, that saves that. It's kind of cheesy, but it does help save Kurt in the end because he appeals to the little bit of humanity that's left in Riverman.
Well, the thing is, Riverman, when I first see him, I just thought he was going to be this crazy, annoying fucking bum, and he was just going to be out of his mind. But then when you scratch beneath the surface and you learn more about him, he's righteous.
Yeah, he's the righteous, wise, homeless guy who's got a lot of wisdom.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Because I was groaning when he came in at first. I'm like, oh, now this is what we're going to get into, and then... but then I ended up liking him, and then the same thing with the other guys, with the gang. But it all ended up being okay. I don't love it. Apparently, they did the same thing wrong that they did with Part 2. I'll say that. Why not make it more like Return of the Living Dead, your namesake? Why not do more with it? I don't know. They had a couple callbacks. They had a callback ending type thing with the burn thing. With when Frank burned himself, and freaking in Part 1 they kind of did something like that, and then in the beginning when they were burning the limbs, when they were looking in the thing, when they were throwing the limbs into the the crematorium, and I was like, okay, they're doing a little stuff, and then they started talking about trioxin. Okay, that's cool, So they had some things, and they at least try to have more tie-ins with the original besides just having freaking characters there. So
I like the ending. I thought it was kind of touching and heartfelt. I mean, she's
it was
brutal.
sad.
Yeah, it's sad. She bites one guy's lips off. Oh my god, and it's just brutal. And she's begging Kurt to end her pain to help her. And at first you think he betrays her because he lets the army take her. But
I was shocked when that happened. I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But then how did he know that what was going to happen next?
He didn't know, but I like that epiphany he has when he's in there. He's like, I can't let this go on. I got to end this, and all hell breaks loose, and Riverman, and even when Riverman's initially, it is melodramatic, but I don't know, it was effective for me.
I can't believe I'd say this. I was praying that dead Michael Jackson would come dancing around and I'm being honest. I honestly had this one higher at one point than 2. And now I think 2 was just dumb fun, and this was a heavy-handed mess that had good gore effects. And really that's it. And everything else about it just felt, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you whatever? I'm not saying that there wasn't good elements to it. Like you said, when they're drilling, she takes the hand and starts drilling it and getting it all mechanical. Still, I just don't understand why they couldn't be killing zombies and they had to be only mechy machines and whatever. But
I agree. There was a few missteps. But to me, this was more intimate. It was on a smaller scale with characters. Where part 2, it was too much. It was too broad a scope, and for no good reason. I think that's something about me. I like more intimate films where there's only a few characters and it's not as grandiose.
This one was very easy to follow. You had Julie, you had Kurt, and then you had Riverman. Like, you didn't need to know everyone's name in the Santos gang. You didn't need to know all these army people. You just knew that these are the enemies. And, even the army maybe was a bit too much. I didn't love the look of the whole, like...
I never do.
Sci-fi looking futuristic base they have. Like,
it looked like Cube.
Yeah, it did look like Cube.
Right. I like the whole thing with the relationship between the father and the son and what's going on there. And
I felt that was genuine. They had their heart to heart at the end, and he tries to save him, but it's too late for him because he's been bit. When Riverman is killed initially, again, this was only a second time watch for me, so it's been a while. I was heartbroken. I'm like, oh God, I forgot about this.
That was sad. Her fate and his fate.
Yeah,
they were sad. I was like,
But he redeems himself in the end and ends all their torture.
I was definitely I don't love it, but I understand what the attraction is. No pun intended, because man, I'll tell you what though. Maybe if this girl wasn't as hot as she is, maybe I have this film a whole point lower. I can admit that. That might be half the charm, is just watching her. Maybe I could watch her picking out socks in a department store for an hour and a half and say I enjoyed it. So I don't know. But
it's pivotal that you like this girl, whether it's through attraction or through her dialogue, through anything. It's important that you like her because she is the driving force of the film. Like Kurt, I like Kurt, but he's not. He could have been anybody. He is.
I mean, she's the kind of girl I would have gone for, kind of troublesome and with some attitude and hot. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's it.
I would have too, but then when I saw that hairline of hers, I would have been I can't do it. I don't care how attractive you are. That hairline's just too high.
Didn't notice, and I hope I don't think of it next time I watch it.
Yeah.
Don't.
I gotta send a clip. No,
I don't even want it in my head. She reminded me of Alyssa Milano at first when she was on the beach in the beginning. This girl looks like Alyssa Milano. Then as it went on, she kind of just had her own thing. One thing I noticed: did she have a lip ring through the whole movie, or did it just suddenly appear in the third act?
I think she pierces herself.
It's just a small lip ring that I just saw happen.
Dave, take a look at the picture I sent. This was what her character was on CSI, which was like 5 to 8 years ago. This is what she looked like, and she's in her 40s at this point. So
hot.
She's gorgeous. She played a character named Lady Heather, who was a madam, basically. Stunning.
She's mean, yeah. Wow, I tell you.
And then look at the one I said.
Christian, you're so mean.
Yeah, that's interesting. But usually she covers it up. So if she has a fault, she at least knows how to.
I don't care about a high hairline. She's a beautiful girl.
Her hair starts behind her ears.
She still is.
Hey, your chin starts at your knees.
It's fine. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Oh man, I don't know. How come that one zombie was half melted? You know what I'm talking about? Like in the beginning, after they when they find out that they're not after brains completely because there's an attack, and then you see a half melted zombie, but it looks really good.
I'm trying to think. That's why I'm
looking at my note. It says nobody noticed he's walking. It says, why is zombie half melted? And then right after I wrote, looks good though.
It's because he comes out of the trioxin. I think he's one of the ones that comes out of the tank. And he's like
that could be.
And his skin rips apart, but he's one of the Muppety ones. There's a couple ones that just woo, and they pop up. And they look like they've literally been like pop him into the frame, and it just
the ones that come out of the tank always look slimy and melted and rotted. Did you like the store clerk coming back with half his head gone?
That's my note right here. Half head missing attack.
Yeah, half head explosion he had.
Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool. A half head missing. It was the only time I've seen it. Besides, is bad taste. Well, not beside. I mean, but that's what it took me back to. Bad taste, and of course we saw it in Texas Chainsaw 2 with the kid in the beginning.
I felt bad for that store owner because they were taking him to the hospital, and he's like trying to like plead with the cops, like, stop shooting. I'm going to the hospital. I got a bullet wound. And they shoot him right in the fucking head. The cops actually kill him.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
the cops kill him, and then Julie eats his brains. That's why it's got a half head explosion. I don't know. I have fun with it.
It was easy to follow. I mean, I didn't become disinterested like I did in part 2, where like, you know, two-thirds of the way I just kind of wanted it to be over. I didn't feel that here. It could have been better. Yeah, sure. But for me, it was a nice rebound after the misfire of 2. That's how I feel.
And mine was the backwards way. I thought 2 clicked along quite nicely and was fun to watch. And yeah, it might be silly, but it clicked along great. And this one, I was like, oh man, this is dragging. And by 2/3 in, I was like not remotely interested. And I knew it had this big payoff. Then when I was watching, I'm like, that's really not much of a payoff, actually. 6 out of 10.
Oh, well, shit. I'm 6.5.
Yeah,
I told you. Yeah. Well, I was 6.75 on the other one.
I'm 6.5 also, and that even feels a little high. I almost gave it a 6 also.
Well, I was just saying, like, people are blowing this movie left, right, and center, but it's not that. It's above average, and it's the gore that keeps it above average.
Yeah, I feel like our ratings for part 3 are probably a lot lower than what most people are, but I feel like our ratings for part 2 might be around where most people's are. I don't think people necessarily hate it as much as you think. They just always talk about 3 being a really underrated sequel, which I don't think it's underrated. Nothing compares to part 1, is what I'm trying to say.
Nothing.
You take the trioxin cans out of it, it's not a Return of the Living Dead movie.
That's true.
Just like part 2, same fucking thing. It's just
part 2 I'll admit, does feel a lot closer to part 1 than part 3 does.
You're fucking crazy.
They have the brains. They're saying brains. The whole thing.
I have to give them that. I have to give them. They got the same stupid talking heads.
Burning down the house.
Anyway, yeah, we could argue till we're blue in the balls. The reality is, it's funny. I told you I said my rating's gonna be like a Brandon rating. I come in, I'm not gonna be like 4. I used to really enjoy this. Watching it this time, I was thoroughly disappointed. And like I said, but there's still some good stuff to be had. I love that little montage sequence, the gore. I do like her as the monster. It's short-lived. The gore effects are good. The payoff, there's zombies at the end, but it's a little too late, I find. I wanted it to be a bit bigger.
That's what she said.
Over and over my whole life.
Nice. Well, that's that. Return of the Living Dead, 1 through 3. Honestly, I think if I look at my ratings, it actually comes up the same as, what do you call it, as Reanimator. I think because I had a 6.5, a 5, and I think a 10. I think that's what it was. So I think they're the same rating. I could be wrong, but if you're looking at it, it's the same type of thing. You know?
I'm thinking mine are pretty similar as well.
Yeah.
I enjoy these 3 films. I'm glad we didn't even attempt to do 4 and 5. I just really have no desire to watch those. I'm not even sure. I feel like I might have seen one of them before, but
nope. I feel that way. I feel the way about them the same way I feel about those 2 Pumpkinhead sequels that were made for TV. Get the fuck out. No, thank you. Nope. I'm happy. I'm good. All right. Triple R's. Finish it off. Round robin reviews. We each got one individually.
Dave, why don't you start us off?
All right. Well, okay. Here,
get you out of the way.
Get me out of the way. I'll make it as fast as I can. But this movie, I watched it because of the director. It's the director of Martyrs. And,
shit. Nice.
This is called Incident in a Ghostland.
Cool. I want to see this. I'm interested in this review because I wanted to see this.
I'll tell you what.
Fuck.
Quite interesting because it's the kind of movie that, similar to when I watched A Tale of Two Sisters, when the movie ended, I had to go online and see the way other people interpreted it. And when I read the interpretation, it immediately boosted up my rating. Now, is that a slight on the film? Because I had to go elsewhere to see what the meaning was? I don't know, but I can tell you what, I really can't wait to go back and watch it a second time. Because of that, because knowing what I know, it's interesting. This is the movie that I wish we could have. Brandon, I think you'll love it. I think this is the movie that I wish we could have done a full review on because it's something that can be completely dissected.
I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I haven't been watching a lot of 2018 films because nothing has been really piquing my interest. And when I saw this one, I was like, this looks like my kind of movie. So I was very excited to hear about it.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to read something that someone else wrote, a description. I think it'll be easier. This is what it says. When the aunt of Pauline dies, she inherits the lonely house in the countryside and travels with her 2 teenage daughters to the place. While driving to the house, her daughter and aspiring writer of horror genre, Beth, reads her last novel to her mother, and rebel Vera criticizes her sister. And the candy truck driver overtakes their car. When they stop at a convenience store in a gas station, Beth learns that the police are hunting down criminals that kill the parents and abuse their daughters. They arrive at the house that looks like an old bazaar with many dolls. Vera does not close the front door, and soon they are assaulted by a driver and a fat man that were in the candy truck. Years later, Beth is a famous writer, married with a baby boy, and has just released a novel about their attack. Out of the blue, she receives a phone call from Vera asking her for help, and she leaves her husband and son to visit her mother and her sister. Soon she learns that weird and mysterious things are happening in the old house. What could it be? That's a good description. It was a review that somebody put on the B, and I knew it would help me instead of me trying to say it myself. They're better words than I could have said. But yeah, there's 2 girls and a mother, and they go to the house, and there's a little bit of sibling rivalry, and the one girl in the beginning is talking about Lovecraft, and she wants to be a writer when she grows up. They get to the house, and these people break in, and it's a brutal friggin' thing, and it seems like it ends, and it seems like they may have survived. At least one of them survived, because then all of a sudden, the first act is this happening. So I thought it was going to be the whole movie. Then after the first act, it flash forwards to the future, and she ended up becoming a writer. Then she gets a phone call. Her sister Vera is screaming. And she's like, come here. So she goes to the house. The mother's there. The sister's there. The sister Vera has never she still relives the attack every single night. She goes through the motions of the attack, and she throws herself around, and her mother has to chain her up, and she's psychotic. We don't know why this happened, but it did. One sister came out okay. The other sister did not come out okay. This woman has money. I don't understand why she couldn't take better care of her family and everything else, and why she hasn't been home. But as the story unfolds, we get a twist about halfway through, which usually is something that's reserved for the end. Then it goes into another direction, and then all this shit starts happening again. And it definitely mirrors Martyrs in certain ways, where you see a couple of females getting the shit beat out of them excessively, and things happening here. And it's pretty wild. As it's going on, I find myself waiting for an explanation. By the time I get to the third act, I'm like, well, how are they going to say this? When this movie ends, what's the explanation going to be? So because of that, I'm very distracted. I'm like, how are they going to explain this? Because how is this even possible? And again, I got to the end, and at first I felt flat. I'm like, okay, it was well shot. It was kind of brutal. It was interesting, but what the fuck did I just – I don't get it. So then I go and I read, and I find some things out, and now I'm like, okay, I really can't wait to go back and watch it. But I have to recommend it. I have to tell people to watch it because I can't wait to go back. I'm going to give it a half-head explosion with a possibility of it moving up. So I just might have been, I just might have missed something. But after I read it, I think I saw what I missed, and I'm excited to go back. So Incident in the Ghostland. Check it out.
Interesting. I'm excited.
I think you'll love it, Brandon. If you
I'm looking forward.
Get it. Yeah. And for anyone that's keeping count, I am now 24 out of 29 for the year 2018. And one of them also includes Hereditary, which...
There's only one person keeping count. It's you.
Follow me and I'll set you free. 24 out of 29, 7 or higher. I know what I'm doing, baby. Anyway.
I feel like you're throwing a lot of 7s out there just so you can pad your stats. I fucking hated this movie. 7 out of 10.
No way.
25 for 30.
I promise I'm not.
You want to go B?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. And I'm not doing a 2018 film. I'm actually starting a new mini segment that might not ever be done again, but it's a new segment for tonight, and it's called Triple R Blast from the Past. And it's going to be me reviewing a film that we have covered before. And I'm going to take us back all the way to episode number 1. And I'm going to review the very first film we reviewed, 1982's Alone in the Dark.
Okay.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, we do top 10 shows, retro shows with the 22 shots, and the next year we do is 1982, and Alone in the Dark was the first film we covered. When we covered it the first time, I gave it an 8.5. It's Jack Shoulder's masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. The performances, man, they just get better and better every time I watch it. Between Jack Palance, Donald Pleasance, Martin Landau, Dwight Schultz, phenomenal. We didn't count this as a slasher film. I think we said it felt too much like part slasher, part home invasion. So we didn't count this, did we?
And multiple killers was the thing.
And multiple killers. But man, is this just, if it was a slasher film, it would easily be in my top 10. Wow. Easily. I love the development of all these characters. Each and every psychopath, Frank Hawks, Byron Preacher Sutcliffe, you got Ronald Thaddy Elster, and you got, of course, I believe it's Tom Smith or Skaggs, the Bleeder. And man, these are 4 of the best killers you could possibly have in a film. And the whole premise of the film is that they're paranoid, and they believe, because of one of their delusions, that the new therapist who's come to the asylum has killed the old one. And so they want to get out and go after him and kill him. And man, I'll tell you what, this time watching it, I loved it just as much as the first time, if not more. And it's still a full head explosion for me. And there's very little to critique in this. I love the fact that there's so little separating the doctors from the psychopaths. And I think that's a message that gets missed in this film, because Donald Pleasance's character in this, even though he's sort of this like lovey-dovey, huggy type person who's goofy and sort of like everybody's friend, there's a particular scene in the film where he speaks to Martin Landau's character in a nasty tone, and he whispers to him something, and he whispers something to him that's so like horrific that it's almost hard to distinguish him from one of these monsters. And you believe that he's almost joking about what he said, but if you go back and listen, he actually did say what he says. And man, it's just... I can't recommend this film enough. I just feel like it needs a Blu-ray release at this point. It really does. What's that?
It's got one coming.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I just read something about it.
Man, I hope you're right, because it really does. And man, reading about some of these actors, like I didn't know Fatty's character. He played Dynamo in Running Man. He was like a trained opera singer. Like interesting people. Like a really great cast of characters. And I'm obviously not going to go into too much depth with the film because it was the first film we reviewed, and go back and listen to episode 1 because it was one of my favorite reviews to do. And I'm still at a full head explosion. I love this film.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
You're making me more interested in wanting to rewatch it. I wasn't really looking forward to seeing it again, to be honest.
Christian, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like an experience I had with this film this time, like I had with Carrie the last time. I'm not saying it's anywhere as close to Carrie, but it was just like everything just made sense to me, and it was so great. Every character, I loved absolutely every single character in this film. Perfect. And it was just so well done. The only one mistake they make is you never really see what happens to Loomis. Yeah, I mean, he gets killed, but you don't know exactly how. But it's really not about the violence, about the gore, I should say. It's more about the character development and the psychosis of these characters. And the particular scene with the bleeder. There's one scene in particular that you guys know that's absolutely just, man, it's so beautifully shot.
I got to watch it again.
Well, mine will be really fast. Most of this is just a description of the plot. This is from this year, and it's called Night Howl. You can check it out on either Amazon in the States or on YouTube.
Night Howl. Okay, yeah.
Night Howl? Howl?
Yes. As a child, Casey was psychologically traumatized after seeing his mother monstrously mauled by a large canine. Now that Casey's an adult, he suffers from constant night terrors and flashbacks to the time his mother was murdered. After numerous visits with the psychiatrist, Casey starts to question whether his nightmares are repressed memories or are they something far more sinister.
Mild rumble.
Continue.
No, I actually, I think it's, I was going to go even lower than that because I was actually interested in this film because I saw a new film pop up on Amazon that's 2018. This is a short film, and I watched the trailer for it. Then I saw the trailer for it. I'm like, this is extremely low budget. This might be
It's ultra low budget.
This might be a head implosion.
It's ultra low budget, supposedly $1,000.
Wow.
I was trying to be very open-minded because I will tell you, back in the day, if it had no budget, I instantly dismissed it. And I'm trying to get better at that. I don't want to just be tossing out zeros like I used to. So I will say for the film, it had actually okay sound, which instantly made me happy because now I'll watch it.
Because now I could hear it.
Fairly stock music. The acting was somewhat decent and better than expected. The cinematography and editing were definitely passable. And when I found out that it was $1,000 budget, even more so. But I said the wolf is literally a guy in a Halloween costume. I said what they did do there. So the cover art is great for the movie, but the actual wolf itself is something more like out of Creep. The movie Creep. It's bad, but they're trying to do something different here in telling the story.
This might have been Creep 3.
And what I like about it is it was actually trying to tell a story. It wasn't just interested in being vicious attacks and hammed up blood and everything else. So I have to try to give it credit where credit's due. Unfortunately, it's still fairly dull, but I won't give it a fail because I figured for this ultra low budget project, they at least tried to do something.
Yeah.
And they even gave you a blooper reel at the end. And so in all, I give it a 5 out of 10. I just gave it a
mild rumble.
Mild rumble.
Yeah. Like I said, I could have saved you an hour and 15 minutes just by looking at the picture.
And he could have saved you that 4-minute review you just did.
Or I could just do another review of one of the movies we covered.
You fucker, you skunk. You skunk bastard. Hey, at least I got you wanting to watch it more. I can't... Yeah. I would never do this because it's kind of giving away the fact that this film's going to show up in my top 10. I didn't give it a number rating this time because I don't want to spoil.
You're number one of the year.
No, I didn't say it. No. But it's really, man, what an experience with this film. I really do love this film. It's got such a great cast. It's really an underrated film.
I figure it's his number 1 or 2. No question.
What movie is it?
Alone in the Dark.
He doesn't even know what movie.
No, I thought you were talking about 2018. I got freaking bugged out for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. I drifted.
It will not be my number 1 or number 2.
Oh, I would have said no for that rating of Alone in the Dark, especially that fucking year. No way. But anyway.
Number 3. After Poltergeist and The Thing.
Probably in the top 5. Yeah.
With what in The Thing?
Poltergeist in The Thing.
Nope. He's not going to have Poltergeist rated above it. Alone in the Dark finishes ahead of Poltergeist. But that's another show.
Yeah,
that's another show.
No, if you guys keep guessing correctly like you are, I don't have to do the 82 show.
Nice. There you go.
Everybody's winning.
Yeah.
I just want to say another great trilogy to cover. I'm happy we did it. I love you all. Good night, everybody.
I just want to say thank you to the new Patreons. Thank you to the old Patreons. Thank you to the middle-aged Patreons. And Good night, everybody. We love you.